Chapter 481. Fruitless Search. Han Feng closed his eyes while sitting in meditation. In his mind, the previous scenes kept flashing. Audio-visual materials of the enemy country. Video footage of the birth of the research matrix. Details of the experimental subjects in the underground laboratory. The attack method of the matrix. For more than 10 minutes, Han Feng kept thinking about this vicious circle. But no matter what, he could not find a breakthrough. No matter how much he thought. The matrix was dead. Even if the original assumption came true. The 7th level zombie evolved into the matrix. That 7th level zombie died 3 hours before the construction of the empty finger department was completed. All this, isn't it back to the vicious circle at the beginning? Frowning deeply, Han Feng suddenly remembered something he had overlooked before. In the 4th hidden mission, find the hidden mother body, followed by a half word. In other words, are there 2 mother bodies? Or more? The mysterious girl Lu Ming is just the one pushed out by the other mother bodies? Once this idea came up, Han Feng immediately couldn't sit still, because according to this line of thought, the 7th level zombie stole Lu Ming's body. Most likely not for himself. It was for other mother bodies. In particular, the 7th level zombie that reappeared 3 months later has greatly increased its ability. The mad knife that could easily cut off its arm before, even if all the edges are broken, can't hurt it at all. So, this conjecture is very likely to be true. There are other mother bodies that enhance the abilities of the 7th level zombies. Swish. Standing up from the camp bed, Han Feng pretended to lift his legs to leave the tent. But at this moment, Han Feng felt dizzy and his eyes went black. Bang. He took a few steps and fell back to sit down. Luna, what's wrong with me? Han Feng asked Luna while holding his still dizzy head. Report to Captain Han. Due to excessive blood loss and heart damage, blood pumping is insufficient, and the brain is ischemic. Dizziness and blackness are symptoms of ischemia in the body. The system recommends that you do not take any action at this moment and need to rest. Han Feng gritted his teeth while holding his head. 2 seconds later, after a brief consideration, Han Feng continued, Luna, make 5 more quick recovery potions. Report to Captain Han. The Gene Quick Recovery Potion can quickly recover from physical injuries, but the system does not recommend its use for blood loss. I still hope you can rest for a while. This time, Luna politely rejected Han Feng's orders. Alas, a few seconds later, Han Feng put down his hand and sighed. It seems that Han Feng has given up the idea of injecting recovery potions to restore blood. It is not difficult to understand. Before the attack of the level 7 zombies, Han Feng was in a state of high mental tension every day. The battle with the level 7 zombies lasted for several hours. After several rounds of bleeding, Han Feng's already tired body became even weaker. With a helpless look, Han Feng slowly lay down. Strangely enough, before he said he would rest, he was not sleepy at all. But when he relaxed a little, Han Feng fell asleep almost in seconds. After more than 10 seconds, a slight snoring sound gradually rose. This time, Han Feng slept directly from morning to night, and then to the next day. The next morning, ring, 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 ring. Huh? A loud alarm woke Han Feng up from his camp bed. Click. Han Feng reached out and slapped the phone beside his pillow to turn it off. Rubbing his sleepy eyes, Han Feng sat up from the bed. Han Feng lowered his hands and stared blankly at what was in front of him. I slept for a whole day. After more than a dozen seconds, Han Feng's brain restarted and he successfully remembered what happened yesterday. Swoosh. After getting up, Han Feng walked quickly out of the tent. On the way out, he did not forget to say to Luna, Luna, 2 tubes of nutrition cream. Okay, Captain Han. 2 tubes of nutrient paste are being made. Please wait. Natasha, come out. There is a mission. Running to the gate of the base, Han Feng did not bother to reply to Luna, but hurriedly called Natasha. What's the matter? What's the matter? Soon, Natasha ran out of the base, wiping her hair. Looking at the ends of her hair dripping with water, she should be washing her hair. Forget it. Go blow dry your hair first. I can find Tanya. Looking at Natasha, Han Feng thought for 2 seconds and said, Tan. Hey, don't. It's okay. I can do it. Tell me, what's the matter? Seeing someone trying to snatch her mission, Natasha got anxious. I want to take the transport plane. The wind is too strong on the road. Don't let it blow you to get a migraine. Come on. Come on. The strong wind is just right for blowing your hair. It's okay. I'm not afraid. As she spoke, Natasha threw the towel and turned to run towards the Nighthawk transport plane. Seeing this, Han Feng couldn't insist on anything anymore. So he turned around and followed silently. 2 minutes later, the Nighthawk transport plane slowly took off. In midair, Natasha turned around and asked, Captain Han, where are we going? Fly back in the direction where the level 7 zombies came from. Okay, Captain Han. After that, Natasha controlled the tilt angle of the Nighthawk and flew straight away. Actually, Han Feng wanted to fly back yesterday, but his physical condition did not allow it. It has been a day and a half since the death of the level 7 zombie. And if it has been nearly 10 days since the first discovery of the level 7 zombie. So much time has passed. Whether a new mother can be found depends on luck. But no matter what, Han Feng has to go this time. Han Feng has no news or clues about the new mother. The only hope is this long voyage. Opening the door of the Nighthawk helicopter, Han Feng sat in the corner and looked down at the earth. At this moment, he remembered Lu Rui's dream. You keep fighting this monster, but you can't beat it until its arm turns into a sharp thorn and pierces your chest. Long cheeks with deep grooves on them, like a wounded dead tree. Then its eyes, not like humans, more like beasts. Its body, sometimes big, sometimes small, like plasticine. It can change shape at will. In his mind, Lu Rui's words echoed in his ears. A new mother? Is it really that strong? Squinting his eyes, Han Feng muttered absent-mindedly. The next second, Han Feng suddenly remembered something and said to Luna, Luna, let Tanya take the trouble to bring Lin Lan and the others to the base to live. Because of the lesson from the last level 7 zombie, Han Feng has grown a smarter mind this time. Now the safest place he can find is inside the base. Although there have been safety accidents, it is more than 100 times higher than the defense of East City. Okay, Captain Han. I got it. Following Han Feng's instructions, Luna responded. An hour later, Captain Han. We are here. After hovering the Nighthawk transport plane, Natasha continued, under the Nighthawk. This is the location where the 7th level zombies were first detected before the base was built. Just wait. Swish. After listening to Natasha, Han Feng, who was sitting at the door of the Nighthawk transport plane, supported himself and jumped off the transport plane. Hua la la. Hua la la. From a height of 100 meters, Han Feng flew down with the wind. The strong wind swept his sleeves, dancing with bursts of whistles. Swish. When there were only 30 to 50 meters left from the ground, Han Feng pulled out the back knife from his back and threw it under his feet. Stepping on the mad knife, Han Feng looked down. Damn. I should have repaired the mad knife first. Bang. A few seconds later, Han Feng landed on the ground, and a heavy object hit the ground with a muffled sound. Huh? Following the muffled sound, a circle of ripple-like dust spread out. Cough cough. Stretching out his hand to wave away the dust in front of his mouth and nose, Han Feng squinted his eyes and pulled his feet out of the ground. Looking around, Han Feng saw the first supply box. After moving his eyes away from the supply box, Han Feng ordered Luna, turn on the radar scan. Report to the Han team. Turn on the radar to scan the surrounding 500 kilometers. 100 gold coins are required. Please confirm the scan. Confirm. Okay. Han team. The radar is scanning. Please wait. 2 seconds later, Luna continued, report to Captain Han. The radar scan is over. Scan results. No other findings except known supply boxes. After listening to Luna, Han Feng pursed his lips and said nothing. It seems that the mother body is not nearby. After thinking for a few seconds, Han Feng shifted his attention to the system. Coming to the radar display screen, Han Feng instructed, open the 3D sand table. Okay. Captain Han. The 3D sand table is opening. Please move and watch. As Luna spoke, Han Feng turned around and looked at the sand table behind him. In front of him, the originally calm sand table began to simulate the modeling of the surrounding 500 kilometers of mountains bit by bit. With his eyes fixed on it, Han Feng began to zoom in and search. He wanted to find the new grave of the mysterious girl. As long as there was a slight bulge in the ground, Han Feng would not let it go. At this time, Han Feng had a hunch in his heart. As long as he found the mysterious girl, he would definitely be able to find clues from it. But as time passed, Han Feng searched the surrounding land for dozens of kilometers, but found nothing. Until Han Feng had backache. He had to stop the search. Exiting the radar interface, Han Feng scanned the surroundings again. The appearance of the level 7 zombie here must have its purpose. What could it be? Looking at the almost flat slope, Han Feng was extremely puzzled. After searching without success, Han Feng walked towards the supply box. Carrying the silver-white box, Han Feng said expressionlessly, "Open it." Ding. With a clear and moving sound, a translucent money dollar sign slowly rose into the air until it disappeared. Congratulations to Team Han for winning the 10,000 gold coin supply box. The next second, Luna's congratulations sounded in his mind. For Han Feng, who has tens of millions of gold coins, this little money can no longer move him. Chapter 482, 1,000 Miles of Dam. 1 hour and 20 minutes later, Han Feng took the Nighthawk transport plane back to the second base. This time, Han Feng did not find any clues about the mother body, but brought back a treasure box worth hundreds of thousands of gold coins. Bang! Huh? Falling down on the camp bed, Han Feng exhaled heavily. Luna, I'm so hungry. Rubbing his stomach, Han Feng suddenly remembered that he hadn't eaten 2 tubes of nutritional paste in the morning. Okay, Captain Han. The military rations are being made, and the flavors are random. Yeah. Nodding, Han Feng sat up straight and took out a cigarette, intending to smoke a wait-for-food cigarette. Suddenly, Han Feng remembered something and asked, "Oh, Luna, I have built 2 bases, but there are no new buildings?" When asking this question, Han Feng thought that when the themed buildings of the first base were all 3-star, the system rewarded a hospital building. Now there are 2 full 3-star bases. Why haven't you heard anything? Reporting to Captain Han, there is, but you were too excited at the time and didn't mention it. Talk about it now. Hearing there is a chance, Han Feng became interested. Anyway, we are still waiting for military rations, so we might as well take this time to learn a little bit. Okay, Captain Han. After a pause, Luna continued, when you have 2 bases and all the main buildings are upgraded to full stars, the system will open the super tank apocalypse. In addition, the system will also open a new high-tech building. The psychic detector? Apocalypse? Psychic detector? Hearing the 2 familiar terms, Han Feng jumped up from the bed excitedly. Luna, let me introduce the psychic detector first. As he spoke, Han Feng hesitated for half a second and finally decided to listen to the building type first. Han Feng was very interested in both. But for Han Feng, who had thousands of Red Alert armed forces, it was obvious that the psychic detector was more concerned. Okay, Captain Han, let me introduce you to the mine detector. Mine detector, Yuri's core top-secret building. Our spies have successfully stolen confidential building drawings and confidential technical keys. After the mine detector is built, it will automatically detect hostile intentions against our soldiers, buildings, tanks, and fighters. In other words, the mine detector will detect the enemy's movement trajectory, destroy targets, and other behaviors. Mine detector detection range, equivalent to radar scanning range, i.e. 500 kilometers in radius. Mine detector construction requirements, height must not be less than 10 meters, and the floor area must not be less than 20 square meters. The cost of building a mine detector, 100,000 gold coins. Note 1. The mine detector is one of the ultimate buildings, which cannot be upgraded or moved. Note 2. The mine detector is a unique attribute building, which means that only one can be built, unless it is destroyed. The second one cannot be built. The construction time of the mine detector, 1 month. When you, Captain Han, complete the construction of the mine detector, the system will randomly conduct a positioning lottery. Reward content, unknown. Probability of winning, 100%. Report. After Luna finished speaking, a report suddenly came from outside the tent. Enter. Suppressing the surprise and doubt in his heart, Han Feng responded softly. Yes, Captain Han. Outside the tent, the Red Alert soldier said, and then walked in with the self-heating rations. Thank you for your hard work. After watching the Red Alert soldier put down the rations and a glass of milk, Han Feng opened his mouth to express his gratitude. At the same time, he pointed outside the door with his chin raised. Yes, Captain Han. Understanding what Han Feng meant, the red alert soldier put down the things and turned away. Luna, what is this location lottery? Why have I never heard of it before? Hearing the 100% chance of winning, Han Feng asked with a playful smile. Sorry, Captain Han. I don't know the details. Ah? You don't know either? Well, only after you build the mine detector. The system will open the lottery. Hearing Luna's slightly apologetic voice, Han Feng was speechless. In that case, build the mine detector. After coming back to his senses, Han Feng gave the order without hesitation. Report to Captain Han. Building the mine detector requires 100,000 gold coins. Please confirm the construction. Confirm. Just kidding, I already have so many gold coins. And I still need this little small money. Okay. Captain Han, please select the construction address for the mine detector. Note, the mine detector is a unique attribute. You can only build one. Please choose the location carefully. Han Feng was stunned when Luna said this. Yes. I was so excited just now that I forgot this key thing. Mine detector. You can only build one. The first base and the second base are equally important. There are zinc mines around the first base. And there is the team that I have brought up. There are also many teams such as Wangman. There are towns around the second base. And there are residents like Bo Lao who I have to protect. And there are also industries such as vegetables and breeding that zinc mines cannot do. Put the mine detector in the first base. Then the second base will not have the privilege of priority reconnaissance. On the contrary, the same. After several minutes of careful consideration, Han Feng decided to build the mine detector in the second base. First of all, it is very close to the town and there are more survivors. People, after all, they are still social animals. Where there are more people, there will be prosperity. And the zinc mine, if I didn't need new mineral resources at the beginning, I'm afraid I would never notice this barren place in my life. Secondly, compared with the zinc mine, everyone still likes this place more. In terms of environment, this place is also much more beautiful than the bare zinc mine. Luna, build it here in the second base. Han Feng was not a person who would waste time. Since he had chosen this place, Han Feng walked out of the tent and went to a vacant space inside the wall. Okay, Captain Han. The mine detector is under construction. Estimated construction time, 1 month. So long. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng complained. Shaking his head, Han Feng returned to the tent and said to Luna, Luna, where is the apocalypse tank? Introduce it. Okay, Captain Han. Let me introduce you to the super tank Apocalypse. Apocalypse heavy tank, the Apocalypse tank, which can be called the king of the land, is a super heavy tank researched and manufactured by Su Lian. And its weight exceeds 180 tons. Apocalypse tank weapons. 2 tandem 125mm Dragon cannons. Range, 3 kilometers. For meat grinder articulated tracks, can crush any protective arms, including unarmored vehicles. 16 layers of reinforced steel armor, can withstand close-range tank bombardment. Anti-aircraft weapons. Mammoth Tusk missiles. Range, 5 kilometers. As the only super heavy tank, the Apocalypse tank has obvious advantages and disadvantages. When passing a bridge, the commander must pay attention to the load-bearing limit of the bridge. Otherwise the bridge will collapse, destroying the vehicle and killing people. The poor mobility of the Apocalypse tank is also particularly criticized. When facing agile enemies, Apocalypse is no less than a sitting duck. But as long as the Apocalypse tank hits the enemy, this heavy blow will be a devastating blow to any enemy. Apocalypse tank summoning price, 100,000 gold coins. Apocalypse tank summoning time, 24 hours. For a few seconds after Luna finished speaking, Han Feng remained surprised. More than 180 tons. Muttering to himself, Han Feng could not imagine. How big is Apocalypse? You know, the Grizzly tank is only about 45 tons. But even so, standing in front of the Grizzly, he is just a kid. More than 180 tons. Equivalent to the weight of 4 Grizzly tanks. Luna, summon! Summon an Apocalypse tank. After recovering from his shock, Han Feng repeated excitedly. Report to Captain Han. Summoning the Apocalypse tank requires 100,000 gold coins. Please confirm the summon. Confirm. Confirm. At this time, Han Feng's curiosity was overflowing. He couldn't wait to see this legendary super weapon. Okay, Captain Han. The Apocalypse tank is being summoned. Summoning time, 24 hours. Please wait. Following Han Feng's instructions, Luna replied. Bang. Then I'll wait. After opening the self-heating military rations, Han Feng took out chopsticks and started eating lunch. At the same time, Han Feng took out his cell phone and looked at the time. It was 11:40 noon. 10 minutes later, after lunch, Han Feng came outside with a cigarette in his mouth. It was late April, and the weather was neither cold nor hot, which was a good time for walking Donor Han. At the outer boundary of the wall, Han Feng saw Master Ji, who was also taking a walk. Hello. Hello. Han Feng returned the gift to Master Ji and quickly caught up with him, walking side by side with Master Ji. How is this base? Looking at the building protruding from the wall, Han Feng asked confidently. Yes. Little did he know that the only response to Han Feng was this one word. Even if tens of thousands of zombies come to this military base, they can easily be taken down. As for the defense alone, how is it? 1,000-mile dike. Hearing Master Ji's zen-like answer, Han Feng was a little confused. 1,000-mile dike is destroyed by an ant hole. Han Feng knew a little about this sentence. But what does this have to do with his second base? Haha, I'm done with my walk, so I'll go back first. Mr. Han, please do as you please. After laughing a few times, Master Ji put his hands together, bowed slightly, and said to Han Feng, Master Ji, what do you mean by this? Han Feng asked hurriedly in return. It cannot be said. It cannot be said. Master Ji straightened up, blurted out 6 words, and then turned and left. Only a thin back was left to Han Feng. 1,000-mile embankment. Could it be that Master Ji is talking about my internal problems again? Frowning, Han Feng guessed to himself. Luna, simulate and analyze under what circumstances the second base will collapse. Since it is impossible to interpret the Zen meaning, then use black technology to force an explanation. Chapter 483, Fishing Contest. Report to Captain Han. The outer defense system of the second base can withstand the simultaneous attack of 16 level 6 zombies in full victory state. If it is replaced with level 5 zombies, it can withstand 84. Level 4 zombies, 720. Level 3 zombies, 3,100. Level 2 zombies, 8,800. Level 1 zombies, equivalent to level 2 zombies. Then, what if it is an internal problem? After hearing about the outer defense force of the second base, Han Feng couldn't help but ask. Report to Captain Han. No one is allowed to enter without your permission. So your assumption. I'm sorry. It doesn't exist. After hearing this, Han Feng remembered the order he had given to Luna. That is, anyone who wants to enter the base in the future must obtain his permission. But in this case, Master Ji's words are completely meaningless. What about the dam of 1,000 miles being destroyed by an ant hole? The system says it does not exist. Could it be that Master Ji does not mean internal crisis? But 1,000 miles is too long. Want me to strengthen short-range defense? Frowning, Han Feng began to try to guess Master Ji's Zen meaning. Luna, build 4 sentry guns and 4 machine gun bunkers in suitable places inside the wall. Make sure there are no blind spots. Confirmed. Okay, Captain Han. 4 machine gun bunkers and 4 sentry guns are under construction. Please wait. Following Han Feng's caution, Luna responded. This should be fine. Touching his chin, Han Feng also analyzed it himself. 8 defensive weapons were built inside the wall, making the originally ample space a little crowded. Now, even if we want to build more defensive weapons, there is no place. Yeah. At this point, Han Feng nodded with satisfaction. No matter what the crisis is, as long as the fist is strong enough, then the whole body is a peace amulet. After thinking, Han Feng took out another cigarette and lit it, and leisurely turned around and walked towards the direction of the tent. In the afternoon, the sun was shining brightly. Han Feng led everyone to a walk on the slope about 2 kilometers away from the second base. In late April, although the trees were not lush, they were gradually green, especially with a stream in front. It was a perfect place for afternoon leisure. Hoo-hoo, do you want to go fishing? Holding hoo-hoo, Han Feng looked at the sparkling stream and suddenly became interested. Yes. Yes. Upon hearing that there was a new entertainment project, Huhu replied excitedly, "That's right. Hidden in a heavily guarded environment all day. Even a normal person would be driven crazy." "Okay." Glancing around, Han Feng looked down at Huhu and continued, "You find a small wooden stick and some earthworms in the field. And I'll find some suitable materials to make a fishing rod." After that, Han Feng let go of Huhu and walked quickly to the tree closest to him. Swish, swish, swoosh. Pulling out the sawtooth like crazy knife, Han Feng sawed down a whole tree. Then, Silver Wing went out and trimmed this not too big tree into the shape of a fishing rod. By the way, he also made a small fishing rod for Huhu with the scraps. "Huhu, how's it going? Did you find the earthworms?" Holding 2 fishing rods, Han Feng quickly approached Luja while shouting, "Here, help me bake it with fire. This thing is too wet now and has no toughness." "I found it. Big brother. Come quickly." As soon as Han Feng finished speaking, Huhu's response came over. "What do you want this thing for? Practice stick skills? It's too thin, isn't it?" Luja only saw Han Feng chopping trees and didn't know what he was going to do. Now he asked himself to bake 2 branches, and he was a little confused for a while. "Fishing? Hurry up. Come on, wait a minute," urging Luja. Han Feng did not forget to turn back and tell Huhu. Boom! Suddenly, a roar of fire sounded. Then, Luja took away the 2 fishing rods in Han Feng's hand. "Here, be careful of the heat." In half a minute, 2 slightly burnt fishing rods were formed. "Thanks." Hearing that it might be very hot, the clever Han Feng directly took it over with telekinesis instead of taking it personally. "How many earthworms did you find?" Han Feng's voice sounded behind Huhu while squatting on the ground. "A lot." Turning his perspective, Han Feng saw a small pit with 3 or 4 twisted earthworms. And Huhu held a small wooden stick and stared at the earthworms in the pit. Seeing her hesitant movements, Han Feng understood this little guy didn't dare to touch the earthworms, but was a little curious. "Let me do it." Seeing this, Han Feng bent down to pick up the earthworm ball in the pit, then stood up and walked to the stream. Tens of seconds later, Han Feng encountered a new problem. The fishing rod and fish food were there. Where is the fishing line? Where is the fish hook? Yes. Where are the fishing line and fish hook? "Big brother, are you looking for fish?" Seeing Han Feng staring at the stream for a long time without moving, Huhu looked up and asked with a puzzled look. "Yeah, looking for fish. You can also look for it." After making an excuse, Han Feng quickly contacted Luna in his mind and said, "Luna, make fishing lines and fish hooks. Quick! Report to Captain Han. The combat laboratory has materials for making fish hooks, but no nylon for making fishing lines. Then make nylon first. Then make fishing lines. Report to Captain Han. The combat laboratory needs 2,000 gold coins to make 1 ton of nylon materials. Please confirm the production. Make it. And send someone to deliver the fishing line when it comes out." "Okay, Captain Han. I got it." After Luna finished speaking, the combat laboratory began to make the basic materials for fishing lines. "Big brother, where are the fish here? Did you find them?" Suddenly, Huhu, who was squinting his eyes and concentrating on searching, asked, "I didn't find it either. Haha, look again, there must be fish." In order to delay time, Han Feng pretended to start searching. In fact, with the existence of the abnormal level of system radar, any living thing cannot escape his eyes. Not to mention a fish. Even the living microorganisms in the water can be magnified and found by the radar. Buzz. 2 minutes later, Han Feng's exclusive vehicle, the off-road vehicle, drove over. "Report to Captain Han. The fishing line and fish hooks are here." After getting off the car, the American soldier handed over a circle of fishing line and 4 or 5 fish hooks in his arms. "Thank you. You can go back." Han Feng took these things and responded while sorting them out. "Yes, Captain Han." After that, the American soldier turned around and ran forward. The off-road vehicle that came when he came left Han Feng. "Here, Fox. This is your fishing rod." After tying the fishing line to one end of the small fishing rod, hanging the fish hook and bait, he handed it to Fox. "Thank you, big brother." With a laugh, Fox took the fishing rod and threw it into the stream in front of him. "Yo, fishing." When Han Feng was sorting out his fishing rod, Lu Rui's voice sounded from behind him. Oh, right, I forgot. You are a fishing expert, haha. Listening to Lu Rui's confident tone, Han Feng suddenly thought, this rich second generation is quite knowledgeable about fishing. Do you know the difference between fishing in streams and fishing in rivers and lakes? Do you know the difference between choosing a location and fish food? Do you understand the difference between the stratosphere and the turbulent layer of water flow? You are messing around. How can you catch fish here? If you can catch a fish, I will take your surname. Don't say I will take your surname. Just let me call you. It's hooked. It's hooked. While Lu Rui was talking confidently, Hu suddenly shouted. This sound startled everyone. Looking over, Han Feng saw that Hu's small fishing rod had formed a bow shape. It seemed that this fish was quite big. Come on. Come on. Dropping his fishing rod, Han Feng took a step forward. He hugged Hu from behind and supported the weight of the fishing rod for her. Boy, you're slapped in the face. This fish is really strong. Holding the fishing rod, Han Feng did not forget to turn around and laugh at Lu Rui. It's impossible. There's not even any medicine. Besides, the water flow here can't hold fish. How? How did you catch it? Looking at the excited Han Feng and Hu, Lu Rui frowned and was dumbfounded. With one hand, Han Feng pulled the fish out of the water. Instantly, a huge fat fish flew towards Han Feng under the traction of the fishing line. Pata! Pata! In midair, the fat fish kept waving its tail, making a clicking sound. Look! Look! Holding the fish, Han Feng walked in front of Lu Rui and turned on the crazy taunting mode. TSK, luck! Waving his hands, Lu Rui blushed and forced an explanation. Haha, let's have braised fish tonight. Taking the hook out of the fish's mouth, Han Feng announced the dinner dishes. Lu Rui, don't you know how to fish? Come and compete. See if the fish you catch can surpass this one. With his mouth nodding, Han Feng gestured for him to show off his skills. Come on. In order to prove himself, Lu Rui took a few quick steps and picked up the fishing rod on the ground. After choosing a good spot in his mind, Lu Rui began fishing. And Han Feng, on the other hand, focused on serving Hu, hanging fish food, casting the fishing rod, etc. were all done by Han Feng. 5 minutes later. Big brother. Hurry! I can't hold the fishing rod. Suddenly, Hu screamed excitedly. Ha! Are you stupid? Making a face at Lu Rui, Han Feng quickly stood up and came behind Hu. Well, this one is steamed. Pick out this fish. Han Feng compares it. It's not as big as the last one. It's just right for steaming. Looking at the other side of the field, Lu Rui is sour. Thinking back to the fishing competition held in college. He was at least a champion. How come he is here? Watching the two people compete, Lin Lan unconsciously came behind Hu and beside Han Feng. And Lu Zhi ran to Lu Rui's side. The two sides' camps were instantly clear. Hey! Here it comes! 3 minutes later, Lu Rui slapped his thigh. He shouted excitedly. Alas! It's small. Picking it out of the water, Lu Rui was a little disappointed. Not as big as Hu's first. Chapter 484, Super Heavy Tank Apocalypse. At the fishing contest, everyone was talking and laughing. If it weren't for the military base 2 or 3 kilometers away, this scene would really look like a family traveling. Time passed by in a flash. And before I knew it, the sun was already setting. I took out my phone to check the time. It was a little after 7 in the afternoon. Hey! Fatty! We should go back. Putting the phone back in his jacket pocket, Han Feng shouted to Lu Rui, who was not far away. Oh my gosh! Why didn't you shout earlier or later? Why did you shout at this time? Didn't you see that there was a big fish about to bite the hook here? Lu Rui stood up straight, looking a little furious. Don't fish anymore. These few fish are enough. Han Feng shouted, not caring about Lu Rui's loss. You lost your fishing rod. Make a few more whenever you want to go fishing. After everyone got together, Han Feng pointed to the SUV and continued, the 6 of us should be able to sit if we squeeze together. Fatty, go to the passenger seat. Han Feng specifically instructed. Opening the driver's door, Lu Rui glanced at Han Feng and said nothing. Hey, where's your girlfriend? Why haven't I seen her these days? On the way back, Han Feng casually asked Lu Rui. I sprained my ankle yesterday and am resting in my room. You can see me at dinner. Oh, is that so? While the two were talking, The off-road vehicle drove into the wall of the second base, carrying 3 or 4 fat fish. Han Feng got out of the car and went straight to the kitchen. In the kitchen of the Allied base, pots, pans, and bowls are all available. Even the seasonings are densely packed in a large piece. Why are you standing there like an idiot? Give me the fish. Behind him, seeing Han Feng at a loss with the fish, Lin Lan said with a smile, Can you cook fish? Seeing Lin Lan take the fish, Han Feng asked subconsciously. No. Learn now. Ah? I read a food magazine a few days ago, and there is a tutorial on how to cook fish. While talking, Lin Lan took out a slender kitchen knife and prepared to deal with the fish on the chopping board. I'll do this. Looking at the way Lin Lan took the knife, Han Feng couldn't help but feel a little scared and worried, especially her bulging belly, which made Lin Lan lean forward a little while dealing with the ingredients. With the output of telekinesis, 4 fish floated into the air. Then, Han Feng moved his waist slightly, and several silver wings quietly stretched out. Swish! Shwa shwa shwa. Under the influence of telekinesis, the scales, bones, and internal organs were removed. In less than 2 minutes, the 4 fish were cleaned. At this moment, Han Feng took advantage of the power of the radar. Every fish bone, no matter how small, would be removed by silver wing. Bang! The fish meat fell to the ground, and a small pile of crystal clear fish meat appeared on the chopping board. Looking at the fish meat in front of him, Lin Lan stared and opened his mouth, wanting to say something. Don't praise basic operation. Han Feng stroked his hair and said lightly, Are you sick? How can I steam it? How can I braise it? Turning his head, Lin Lan's fierce eyes scared Han Feng so much that he took a few steps back. Oh! I have something else to do. You are busy. I'll leave first. Seeing this was not good, Han Feng stepped on the watermelon peel and escaped. At this time, in the kitchen, Lin Lan was left alone with a helpless look. An hour and a half later, around 9 o'clock in the evening. At this moment, in the restaurant of the Allied base, everyone was looking forward to today's dinner. With a shout of dinner is ready, Lin Lan walked out with a large bowl of fish. Dong! Sizzle! In the white porcelain bowl, the hot oil was still frying on the fish fillets that were arched into a small hill. The Sichuan peppercorns, the finishing touch, burst out with amazing aroma. It swept everyone's taste buds. No steaming, no braised, only boiled fish. Putting down the dishes, Lin Lan squinted his eyes and looked at Han Feng with a playful look. Wow! It smells so good. Suddenly, Huhu's cute and obedient voice broke this delicate balance. Hurry up and use your chopsticks. I can't wait any longer. That's right. Lin Lan's cooking smells really good. As soon as Huhu finished speaking, Lu Rui and Lu Zhi immediately followed up. Haha, let's eat boiled fish, looks delicious. It's much better than steamed or braised. Rolling up his sleeves, Han Feng avoided Lin Lan's gaze and took the lead in picking up his chopsticks. The soft and chewy fish fillet had no fish bones. It is no exaggeration to say that Han Feng could finish a bowl of rice with a spoonful of fish soup. After eating and drinking, Han Feng wandered outside with a cigarette in his mouth as usual. Admiring the starry sky, Han Feng suddenly felt a sense of loneliness in his heart. Matrix, where are you? Squinting his eyes, Han Feng couldn't wait to know the answer to this question. Kill the Matrix and build a time machine so that she can watch the stars with him. Thinking of this, Han Feng suddenly thought of Lin Lan. If Wei Yun is resurrected, what about Lin Lan? Standing up straight, Han Feng was stumped by this question. Hee. After a few seconds, Han Feng smiled with relief. As long as people can survive, there is always a way to solve the problem. Putting out the cigarette, Han Feng turned back to the tent. The next morning, ring, 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 ring. Opening his half-asleep eyes, Han Feng turned off the alarm and sat up from the bed. Luna, have you finished summoning the apocalypse tank? As he got out of bed and walked towards the wash basin, Han Feng asked Luna in his mind. Reporting to Captain Han, there are still 3 hours and 27 minutes left before the apocalypse tank summoning ends. So slow. Washing his face, Han Feng suddenly remembered something and asked, Hey? That's not right. Didn't they say that a 3-star heavy factory can reduce the summoning time of tanks by 50%? Yes, Captain Han. A 3-star heavy factory can indeed reduce the summoning time of tanks and vehicles by 50%. I'm not asking you to repeat what I said. I want to know why the summoning time of the Apocalypse tank is not halved. Is it because it is the ultimate weapon? Reporting to Captain Han. The summoning time of the Apocalypse tank has been halved. The action of wiping his face came to an abrupt halt. What? It takes 2 days just to summon. One conscript takes a few seconds. One American soldier takes 10 seconds. And one sniper takes a minute. Even the longest Nighthawk transport plane only takes 40 minutes. Why? The Apocalypse tank takes so long? Han Feng opened his mouth and wanted to ask something else. But he hesitated. Anyway, even if he asked clearly, the summoning time would not be reduced. So forget it. Let it go. Han Feng quickly washed and tidied up his house. 20 minutes later, a steaming hot breakfast was brought into the tent by the Red Alert soldiers. After breakfast, it was still early. Bored, Han Feng returned to bed and played a single-player game on his mobile phone. A few hours later, report to Captain Han. The heavy tank Apocalypse has been summoned. As soon as the time came, Luna's report sounded in Han Feng's mind. Let's go! Go out and take a look. After hearing this, Han Feng excitedly said and jumped off the camp bed. Where's Apocalypse? Where's Apocalypse? Walking out of the tent, Han Feng looked around 3 circles to the left, 3 circles to the right. But he didn't see the shadow of the Apocalypse tank. Report to Captain Han. The Apocalypse tank is on standby outside the wall at this time. Swoosh. As Luna finished speaking, the sound of Han Feng's teleportation was heard. Oh my god! When he came to the side of the Apocalypse tank, Han Feng was stunned. This is not a tank. This is clearly a small base vehicle. With a surprised look, Han Feng walked forward and touched the track of the Apocalypse tank. The cold and prickly pain was transmitted back first. Staring at the blade-like edges on the track, Han Feng understood what the mincemeat track was. Unlike ordinary tanks, the Apocalypse has a total of 4 tracks. And each track is the same length as a normal tank. 2 on each side. In other words, the length of the Apocalypse tank is longer than the length of 2 tanks combined. Looking up, Han Feng was attracted by the turret of the Apocalypse tank. 2 parallel gun barrels pointed majestically into the distance. Is this a modified Patriot missile? On both sides of the sturdy turret, there stood 2 rocket launch nests. Without asking, Han Feng knew that this was the anti-aircraft weapon of the Apocalypse. And in the middle of the 2 rocket launch nests, at the rear of the turret, a machine gun tower once again attracted Han Feng's attention. Is this another sentry gun moved up? Pointing at the machine gun tower, Han Feng laughed at himself. Laughing. I haven't seen the big world. Oh my goodness. Around the camouflaged Apocalypse tank, Han Feng turned around and around. Luna, how much ammunition does this thing have? Finally, Han Feng asked a serious question. Report to the Han team. The heavy tank Apocalypse has no specific ammunition. Luna's answer confused Han Feng. How can a tank have no ammunition? The first thing Han Feng thought of was the Grizzly tank. Even if it reaches a 1-star level, the ammunition is only 10 shells. Report to Captain Han. The Apocalypse tank fires a shell every 5 minutes. No rapid fire. Feeling that Han Feng was still confused, Luna knew that he had not understood it thoroughly, so she continued, in other words, the Apocalypse tank can fire shells all the time. But the interval between firing shells is extremely slow. Infinite. Infinite bullets? Finally, Han Feng said this sentence based on his own understanding. It's almost the same meaning. Oh my god. After getting Luna's affirmation, Han Feng jumped up excitedly. Go. 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 Let Apocalypse stay somewhere else. After landing, Han Feng pointed to the distance. It turned out that Han Feng had explored the surrounding terrain yesterday morning. On one of the flat areas, Han Feng decided to use it as a turret to guard against zombies that might attack from this direction. This was also out of consideration for Tianqi's shortcoming of not being able to move quickly. Rather than letting it stay in the base, it is better to let it play its maximum role. Stand alone. Chapter 485, Tank Formation. Rumble. Rumble. When the Apocalypse tank started moving, the roar of the engine resounded everywhere. Just like a radio car. It's so lively. It's like Chinese New Year. Walking in front, Han Feng was shocked by the continuous muffled sound. Luna, Can you let Apocalypse drive faster? Han Feng couldn't wait to say it after leaving Apocalypse far behind. Report to Captain Han. This Apocalypse tank is already moving at full speed. Han Feng, who arrived at the garrison in advance, was challenged by Luna and was speechless. Taking out a cigarette, Han Feng stood there waiting. 5 minutes later, the Apocalypse tank arrived leisurely. Just then, the cigarette in his hand was about to burn out. Come on. Come here. Point the muzzle in this direction. Throwing away the cigarette butt, Han Feng pointed at his feet and instructed. Boom boom boom. 10 seconds later, the Apocalypse returned. Now, the show is on. Luna, do you see that hill? Bomb it for me. Pointing to the small hill about 800 meters away in front of the Apocalypse. Han Feng ordered. Okay. Captain Han. Boom boom. As soon as Luna finished speaking, 2 consecutive loud noises exploded beside Han Feng. Whisper. Whoosh. Then, 2 sharp whistles blew past his ears. Boom. Boom. Crash. 1 second later, 2 shells hit the waist of the hillside, instantly creating a big pit. Under the burst of bombing energy, countless gravel scattered and flew around. Whoosh. Until this time, the dust at the bottom of the Apocalypse tank began to ripple out. Cough cough. Han Feng suffered a big loss this time due to his lack of actual combat experience. In the diffused ashes, Han Feng choked and coughed repeatedly. Swoosh. With his eyes closed, Han Feng instantly dodged the still spreading dust. Is the recoil so strong? I'm almost deafened. 100 meters away, Han Feng covered his ears with his hands and roared angrily. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. The next moment, Han Feng suddenly laughed. How could Han Feng not be happy to see half of the hillside? This is not a tank. This is simply a giant cannon of the French country. Luna, can I block the shells fired by Tianchi? Instantly, a weird idea came to Han Feng's mind, and he was eager to try for it. Report to Captain Han. It's impossible. In full state, blood rage blessing, telekinesis strong, and mad sword defense? Han Feng was full of confidence as he spoke. Captain Han. That is, impossible to resist. After a pause, Luna continued, the shells fired by the Apocalypse tank completely exceed the threshold of your telekinesis resistance. Even with blood rage to strengthen the defense and mad blade to resist, the shells cannot be completely blocked. According to the system simulation calculation, your chance of surviving the Apocalypse shells is only 6% to 8.5%. Finally, Luna added this sentence. With so many things added together, the chance of survival is less than 10%. After hearing this, Han Feng was shocked. He knew that the Apocalypse tank was powerful, but he didn't expect it to reach such a high level. Captain Han, what I mean is, even if you can survive the Apocalypse shells, your body will be 100% disabled. There is no doubt about that. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng moved his mouth and said nothing more. Staring at the deep pit in the distant hillside, Han Feng quietly swallowed a mouthful of saliva. If you hit a level 7 zombie, you will definitely die. Han Feng was just halfway through his slow words when Luna rushed to respond. Luna, summon 7 more Apocalypse tanks. With Luna's strong guarantee, Han Feng no longer hesitated and directly ordered 7 more. Report to Captain Han. Summoning 7 heavy tanks of Apocalypse. A total of 700,000 gold coins are required. Please confirm the summoning. Confirm. Summon. Okay. Captain Han. 7 heavy tanks of Apocalypse are being summoned. The estimated summoning time is 7 days. Please wait. After the 2 of them talked, Han Feng laughed silly. 7 Apocalypses, plus the one in front of him. A total of 8. The 4 sides of the second base in the southeast, northwest, plus the 4 corners of the base. A total of 8 directions. Just right. The protective circle formed by the 8 Apocalypses also just surrounded the base. In this way, the safest protective circle was born. Even if there are level 7 zombies coming, Han Feng was stunned when he thought of this. There is no doubt that the power of the Apocalypse tank is a fatal blow. But, don't forget that the level 7 zombies have an absolute advantage in speed. The interval between firing every 5 minutes is enough for the level 7 zombies to get close and destroy the Apocalypse. Frowning, Han Feng looked around. Luna, wait until the Apocalypse is summoned. Then summon 16 Prism tanks and 16 Phantom tanks. That's right. Han Feng plans to equip each Apocalypse with 2 prisms and 2 phantoms. In this way, the turret is available, the laser weapon is available, and the thermal weapon is available, whether it is long range, close combat, or heavy attack. All 3 are available. If an enemy attacks, first punch to destroy it. Even if it doesn't die, there are laser weapons. I don't believe that no matter how fast the level 7 is, it can be faster than the laser. Not to mention that there are thermal weapons suitable for close combat. Report to Captain Han. Summoning 16 laser tanks requires 320,000 gold coins. Summoning 16 phantom tanks requires 240,000 gold coins. The total of the 2 is 560,000 gold coins. Please confirm the summoning. Confirm. Summon, Han Feng said without hesitation with a wave of his hand. Okay, Captain Han. 16 prism tanks and 16 phantom tanks have entered the state of ready summoning. The estimated summoning time for both is 11 hours. And the total summoning time is 7 days and 11 hours. Please wait. 8 days? Yes. Muttering, Han Feng nodded, indicating that he understood. Leaving Tianqi where he was, Han Feng turned and walked into the wall. As soon as he entered the wall, Han Feng saw a group of people blocking the entrance and exit of the base and looking over here. You, brother-in-law, what exploded just now? Is it a new weapon? When Han Feng was about to ask, Wei Peng ran up first and asked, So you are here to listen to the explosion? Looking at Wei Peng with an expectant look on his face, Han Feng pouted. Here, brother-in-law is invincible. Who can beat you? With a laugh, Wei Peng continued to ask, Brother-in-law, you haven't told me yet. What exactly is it? I feel the room shaking. Tank. Han Feng answered truthfully. Tank? What else? Can a tank make such a big noise? It's really not a missile or something? While speaking, Wei Peng raised his hand and pointed at the big hole on the hillside in the distance. Looking in the direction of Wei Peng's finger, Han Feng noticed that the wall was too low and did not block the hillside. It's really a tank. If you don't believe me, go and see. Han Feng gestured by pointing at the entrance and exit behind him with his mouth. Alas! Looking at Han Feng, Wei Peng turned to look at everyone, turned around and walked back to the base with a disappointed look. Look, I said it was a tank. You just didn't believe it. Come on, this week's socks belong to you, haha. At the gate of the base, Lu Rui held his belly with one hand and laughed, pointing at Lu Rui and shouting, Boring. Hearing Lu Rui's laughter, Han Feng smiled bitterly and shook his head. Time passed, and soon it came to the 7th day. Report to Captain Han. All tanks have been summoned. Please give instructions. In the evening, Han Feng, who was smoking and admiring the moon outside the wall, suddenly heard Luna's report in his mind. Who? Let's go! Go check it out. Han Feng let out a breath of foul air, threw down his cigarette butt and stomped it out, then stood up and walked towards the direction of the Apocalypse tank in front of him. At this time, there were 2 different types of tanks on each side of the Apocalypse. The Apocalypse was in the middle, and the Phantoms were outside on both sides of the light prism. The 5 tanks stood in an arrow formation, waiting for Han Feng's inspection. Luna, are the other 7 tank formations also like this? Han Feng asked, pointing to the tank group in front of him. Report to Captain Han. Yes. After a soft response, Han Feng folded his arms and began to walk around the tank group. Luna, build 2 sentry guns. One here, the other over there. Pointing to the front of the tank formation, Han Feng felt that something was missing, so he thought about adding some defensive weapons. Report to Captain Han. Building 2 sentry guns requires a total of 10,000 gold coins. Please confirm the construction. Confirm. Build it. Okay. Captain Han. 2 sentry guns are under construction. Estimated construction time, 10 minutes. Please wait. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng couldn't help but frown and asked, 10 minutes? The construction time is shortened? Report to Captain Han. You have 2 bases, and the construction time of all defensive building types will be halved. Oh. After realizing it, Han Feng said, since it's so fast, let's build 2 more machine gun bunkers. Build them 5 meters away from both sides of the Mirage tank. Report to Captain Han. Building 2 machine gun bunkers requires a total of 5,000 gold coins. Please confirm the call. Confirm. Okay, Captain Han. The 2 machine gun bunkers have entered the pre-construction state. Estimated construction time, 5 minutes. Total construction time is 15 minutes. Please wait. Well, no rush. After spending 15,000 gold coins, Han Feng took a few steps back without changing his expression and began to appreciate this group of tanks. Boom! Squeak, squeak. 5 minutes later, a pitch-black warrior sentry gun suddenly stood up in the air about 10 meters to the right of the Apocalypse tank. When the sound of hitting the ground ended, there was a sound of power connection. After the red laser scanned the surroundings, the sentry gun entered the identification standby mode. Han Feng looked at the suddenly appeared defensive weapon and said nothing, because he knew that once someone approached without permission, he would be greeted by a storm of miniature shells. That's not right. At such a close distance, it's not the turn of the sentry gun to show off. As early as a few kilometers away, the opponent was bombed into slag. Chapter 486, Psychic Detector. Boom, boom, boom. 10 minutes later, a series of ground-smashing sounds were heard. At this point, all defensive weapons were built. On the periphery of the tank formation, Han Feng covered it with a layer of armed minions. Not bad. Looking at his masterpiece, Han Feng couldn't help but exclaim, "At this rate, you can't hit my tanks from a distance. At close range, let alone whether the tanks can move, just these 4 bodyguards can tear the surviving comers to pieces. Luna, build 14 more sentry guns, plus 14 machine gun bunkers. Copy this template to each tank formation for me." Pointing at the tank formation in front of him, Han Feng said to Luna, "Report to the Han team. Building 14 sentry guns requires a total of 70,000 gold coins. Building 14 machine gun bunkers requires a total of 35,000 gold coins. The total of the two is 100,500 gold coins. Please confirm the construction." Confirm. Construction. Okay. Han team. 14 sentry guns and 14 machine gun bunkers are under construction. Estimated construction time, a total of 1 hour and 45 minutes. Please wait. Finished. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng turned around and walked towards the tent. "Oh, by the way, Luna, that mine detector will take how long to build?" "Report to Captain Han. The mine detector is under construction. Remaining construction time, 20 days and 10 hours. 20 more days." Pausing, Han Feng raised his head and looked up at the sky and repeated a sentence. "Luna, detect the GS virus in my body." Keeping his head up, Han Feng suddenly thought that he hadn't paid attention to the virus in his body for a long time. "Okay, Captain Han. The system is testing you. Please wait." 2 seconds later, Luna continued, "Report to Captain Han. According to the system's preliminary test of you, it was found that the GS virus in your body is still in a dormant state, and there is no sign of recovery." "That's good. That's good." After saying it twice, Han Feng turned his head and continued to walk towards the tent. In the following days, Han Feng stayed with everyone every day. Although he occasionally went out to look for news about the mother body, he found nothing. After several setbacks, Han Feng temporarily gave up to continue the investigation, just because there was no clue. That's right, since the death of the 7th level zombie, unless Han Feng specifically looked for it. Otherwise, it would be difficult to find traces of zombies. This made Han Feng both happy and worried. It is certainly a good thing that the zombies don't come out to harm people. But they are now nesting in their nests, and I don't know what they are planning. Fortunately, the mine detector is about to be built. For this reason, Han Feng also specifically asked Luna whether the mine detector can detect the zombies' attack intentions. And Luna's answer was that it can. With this guarantee, Han Feng felt relieved for the time being. As long as the base is still there, as long as he is not dead, then everything is possible. A dozen days later, on this day, Han Feng got up early on purpose, because today is the day when the mine detector is built. At about 9 o'clock in the morning, after breakfast, Han Feng accompanied Lin Lan to stroll around the yard. It has been more than 6 months since that night. In 6 months, Lin Lan's belly has bulged even more. After today, we don't have to worry anymore. Beside Lin Lan, Han Feng suddenly said something. "Ah? What do you mean?" Stopped. Lin Lan raised his eyebrows and asked curiously. "I have a new device that can detect the zombies' attack intentions within a radius of 500 kilometers as long as there are zombies trying to approach us. We can make defenses or attacks in advance. Really? After listening to Han Feng's explanation, Lin Lan asked with his eyes wide open. Why would I lie to you? At this moment, Han Feng looked smug. That's too. Opening his mouth, Lin Lan wanted to express something, but due to his lack of vocabulary, he couldn't express his feelings at the moment. Maybe it was because he had been persecuted by zombies for a long time. Maybe it was because he heard the light coming for the first time. Don't get excited. Life will definitely get better and better. All regrets will disappear. Staring into Lin Lan's eyes, Han Feng swore. Yeah, I believe it too. Holding Han Feng, Lin Lan whispered. In the blink of an eye, time came to a little after 11:30 in the afternoon. Looking at the mine detector that was about to be completed, Han Feng's eyes were full of anticipation. Behind Han Feng stood Tanya, Natasha and others. Like Han Feng, they were looking forward to the birth of this black technology. Report to Captain Han. The mine detector has been built. As soon as the time reached 11:40, Luna's voice rang in Han Feng's mind. Captain Han, do you want to turn on the mine detector? Following Luna's voice, Tanya's voice also rang in his mind. Turn on! Turn on the mine detector. Han Feng ordered Tanya without making a sound. Although Han Feng had no expression on his face, he was actually very excited. Yes, Captain Han. After responding excitedly, Tanya took 2 steps at a time and ran towards the mine detector. Opening the door downstairs of the mine detector, Tanya flashed in Luna Vision Link. In order to satisfy his curiosity, Han Feng also wanted to see the picture inside the mine detector. Okay, Captain Han. The Vision Link is connecting. Link target, Tanya. Please wait. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng closed his eyes. When Han Feng opened his eyes again, the scene in front of him had changed to Tanya's vision. Narrow. Complicated. Looking at the narrow aisle that can only accommodate one person. And the many lines above the aisle. This was Han Feng's first evaluation of the interior of the mine detector. But it's true that in the eyes of the outside world, the mine detector is a tall and thin existence. Report to Captain Han. I have arrived at the control room. While speaking, Tanya has already arrived at the relatively spacious control room. Through Tanya's eyes, Han Feng saw that there were 4 or 5 staff members wearing research uniforms in the control room of more than 10 square meters. Turn on the mine detector. Rubbing his hands excitedly, Han Feng ordered again. Okay, Captain Han. The mine detector is about to be turned on. After replying, Tanya took a big step and came to the main control console. On the control console, a red lid was opened by Tanya, revealing the button inside. Huh? At this moment, Han Feng was extremely nervous. This feeling was no less than pressing the button to launch a nuclear bomb. Ding. After Tanya pressed the button, a long beep sounded. Ding. 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 Then, there were several short beeps. Buzz. 3 seconds later, all the instruments in the control room began to operate and made a buzzing sound. At the same time, the external structure of the mine detector also underwent a huge change. First, the 3 detection needles, on the upper part of the mine detector began to rotate regularly. Secondly, the mine detector also began to emit waves of microwaves, which spread to the surroundings, just like water waves. Report to Captain Han. The mine detector has been activated. Thank you for your hard work. After thanking him, Han Feng removed the vision link by himself. When he opened his eyes again, he saw the mine detector that had started to operate. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Listening to the buzzing sound in his ears one after another, Han Feng frowned and asked Luna, Luna, this buzzing sound has such a strong penetrating power. Will it affect everyone's sleep at night? Report to Captain Han. No. After that, Luna paused and continued, the working principle of the mine detector is to emit radio waves to the surroundings, and then integrate and calculate according to the feedback information. Because this is the first time the mine detector is working, it must emit strong enough radio waves in the early stage. When the first round of radio waves are sensed, the mine detection will be reduced and maintain a relatively stable radio wave signal. It takes about 18 seconds from the strong start to the weakening. After that, you will not hear the sound of radio waves. After Luna finished speaking, 18 seconds had passed. After listening with his lips pursed, Han Feng could no longer hear the buzzing sound. Luna, the mine detector emits radio waves. Right. A few seconds later, Han Feng frowned and asked weakly. Captain Han. Yes. Since it is radio waves, will there be radiation? Hearing Luna's answer, Han Feng asked out his anxiety. Captain Han. Yes. But the radiation dose is very small, and will not have any effect on the human body. In order to relieve Han Feng's fear of radiation, Luna continued to explain, before the zombie outbreak, the mobile phone you used needed a signal tower to transmit information. Hearing this, Han Feng nodded. The radiation transmitted by the signal tower is 14 times that of the mine detector. Hearing Luna's words, Han Feng breathed a sigh of relief. Haha, isn't this because of the radiation? Scratching the back of his head, Han Feng smiled awkwardly. Luna, when can the mine detector detect the movement of zombies? Oh, by the way, can we know the location of zombies with the mine detector? Putting down his hands, Han Feng asked 2 questions in a row. Report to Captain Han. The mine detector has started working. As long as it detects the offensive intention of the enemy forces, the mine detector will warn you in your mind. Although it can monitor the enemy's movements, we cannot detect zombies that have no intention of attacking. After hearing this, Han Feng frowned and pondered for a while, and continued, is it possible that the zombies do not attack the base specifically, but gather near the base now? When they reach a certain scale, they will launch an offensive intention. In this case, the role of the mine detector is not great. Report to Captain Han. The offensive intention includes the intention to approach. Haha, that's good, then I feel relieved. After getting the answer, Han Feng smiled. In the eyes of others, Han Feng stood there frowning for a while. Then smiling, very confused. Chapter 487, Long Eyes. After waiting for about a minute, Han Feng looked at the mine detector and asked in confusion, Luna, it's been so long. Why didn't I feel anything? Report to Captain Han. There is no enemy with the intention of attacking now. Really. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng smiled awkwardly, thinking that he was too impatient. Everyone go back to have lunch, it's okay. Turning around, Han Feng said to the people behind him, this guy can really help us identify the attacker? After hesitating for a long time, Lin Lan decided to step forward and ask. Yeah, that's right, you'll know later. Han Feng responded with a confident look. But actually, Han Feng himself was unsure. This thing can indeed detect hostility in the game. But that's just a trick after all. And this is the real world. As the saying goes, people's hearts are separated by their stomachs. You can know a person's face, but not his heart. The heart is always a forbidden place for human understanding, which cannot be tested or examined. And zombies are defined as inanimate objects by the system. It feels like a piece of stone. Can you tell what it thinks? But think about it again. This mine detector is a product of the system after all. It should be, probably, maybe, 80%. About the same. It's easy to use. Oh, let's go, I'm hungry. Seeing Lin Lan opening her mouth to ask something else, Han Feng quickly changed the topic and made an excuse that he was hungry, using this to block Lin Lan's subsequent questions. Oh, let's go. Let's go now. After saying this, Lin Lan looked back at the mine detector every 3 steps. After lunch, Lin Lan took the initiative to get close to Han Feng and expressed his desire to take a walk with him. Of course, Han Feng would not refuse this. However, from Lin Lan's abnormal eyes, Han Feng knew that her companionship was fake and her inquiry was real. Sure enough, on the way to accompany Han Feng for a walk, Lin Lan asked, oh, by the way, your detector, how did you make it? Han Feng paused, blinked, and began to think about how to explain. After more than 10 seconds, when Lin Lan was about to lose patience, Han Feng slowly said, I didn't make this. When I found this place, it was a military base. I just cleaned it up and repaired the machines here. I just happened to see the instructions for the mine detector you mentioned. Han Feng finished speaking, pretending to be relaxed, but in fact he was a little nervous. After all, this explanation was full of loopholes. Really? With a strong doubt, Lin Lan said to himself, why didn't I know that the country had such a thing? Haha, you know all the secrets of the country. Seeing Lin Lan's self-doubtful expression, Han Feng knew that he had gotten through. That's right. I'm just a small instructor, not a confidential researcher. After a few seconds, Lin Lan accepted Han Feng's explanation full of loopholes. What about these tanks? Especially these two. They look weird. Different from ordinary combat tanks. The next second, Lin Lan raised his hand and pointed at the Apocalypse tank and the Prism tank in front of him and asked, "This is a super heavy tank, weighing more than 180 tons. This is a light energy tank, which can emit something like a laser." Looking at the two tanks, Apocalypse and Prism, Han Feng deliberately concealed their real names and only introduced their different uses. Super heavy? Light energy. Looking at Han Feng and then at the tank, Lin Lan raised his voice. "Yeah." Keeping a serious face, Han Feng nodded. "Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Even if this is a state secret. This is too sci-fi. Right? Light energy tanks. Even in the magnesium country, this kind of tank only exists in theory. Moreover, super heavy tanks were only produced in small batches during World War II. And they are not suitable for combat at all. They are too heavy. This fully proves that you know nothing about our country's high technology." Han Feng did not change his tone because of Lin Lan's excitement. Still that calm and nonchalant performance. "That's not allowed. Come on. I'll give you a long look." After snatching Lin Lan's words, Han Feng slowly turned his body and faced the tank group. In his mind, he contacted Luna and said, "Luna, let the Apocalypse tank fire. Target the small hill in front." Received. Team Han. Boom boom. Buzz. After Luna finished speaking, the muzzle of the Apocalypse tank turret suddenly swallowed and spit out 2 dazzling flames. Then, 2 heavy shells were fired. Feeling the tremor of destroying the world, Han Feng waved his hand, and an invisible mind barrier instantly propped up in front of the two of them. With the previous lesson, Han Feng didn't want to be baptized by dust again, so he learned his lesson this time. Boom! Boom! In less than 2 seconds, a huge hole was instantly blasted out on the hillside 1 kilometer away. It can be seen how strong the penetration power of the Apocalypse tank is. Ah! Maybe the Apocalypse tank is too powerful. So Lin Lan screamed in fear and covered his ears. Look! The noise on the hillside the day before yesterday was caused by it. Seeing the tragic situation on the hillside with his own eyes, Lin Lan instantly remembered the loud noise the day before yesterday. Yeah! Nodding, Han Feng continued, "You wait." Then, Han Feng contacted Luna in his mind and said, "Luna, let the light tank attack. Target the forest ahead." Received. Captain Han. G. Boom. After Luna finished speaking, the refractor on the top of the light tank began to gather energy. And 2 seconds later, a beam of light as thick as an arm instantly pierced out, directly pointed at the forest. Boom. Crack. Sizzle. 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 It was like a lightning bolt. All the trees within the attack range were destroyed and turned into a pile of charred carbon slag. Around the attack point of the light tank, the electric current wandered in it, making a hissing sound. Looking back at Lin Lan, Han Feng found that her eyes were straight. And more Han Feng said with a mysterious smile. Luna, it's the turn of the Mirage tank. The target is still that forest. Received. Team Han. Huh? After Luna finished speaking, the Mirage tank instantly transformed from a sturdy and short tree into its original form. Beep! A slight and dull sound of firing. Boom! Boom! Whoosh! The next moment, a tree as thick as a waist in the forest broke in half, and a raging fire ignited at the broken end. 2 seconds later, the fierce flames quickly climbed to various parts of the tree and swallowed the tree as a whole. I. Lin Lan covered his mouth with one hand and pointed at the burning tree with the other hand. Trembling, he was so shocked that he couldn't say a word for a long time. Crack. Chi. Pa. Looking at the burning and crackling trees, Han Feng was silent. This was not only the first time for Lin Lan to see a phantom tank attack, but also the first time for himself. In the game, Han Feng knew that the enemy infantry hit by the phantom would appear in flames, but he didn't expect that in the real world, the power of the phantom tank is only higher. Isn't this a tree? How did it become a tank? Huh? After the attack, the phantom tank changed from a tank state to a thick and tall tree. It formed a sharp contrast with the short trees before. It changed back again. Lin Lan raised his hand and pointed and exclaimed again. Just now! Wasn't this a tree? How did it become a tank? And it changed back again. Pointing at the tree and looking at Han Feng. Lin Lan seemed to be ghosted and crazy. Don't get excited. This is our country's high-tech, phantom technology, which can simulate trees. Frowning, Han Feng tried his best to make up a lie. This. Oh, I told you this is confidential. When I first saw them, I was more excited than you. Han Feng said, as he stepped forward and forcibly pressed down Lin Lan's arm. What about the people who operate the tanks? Where do all these soldiers come from? Why do they obey you? As his emotions fluctuated greatly, Lin Lan finally couldn't help but ask this question that he had suppressed for a long time. Having been in the army, Lin Lan knew one thing very well. That is, soldiers are very obedient. But the premise is that you have the identity to require them. In other words, why can you, Han Feng, command these soldiers? Because they are my people. As he spoke, Han Feng took out a cigarette and lit one for himself. Holding the cigarette in his mouth, Han Feng subconsciously took a few steps back and stood downwind. The purpose of doing this was to prevent the smoke from blowing towards Lin Lan. I know they are your people. Where are they from? What about military status? What is your identity? Looking at the brand new tank, Lin Lan was a little excited. Looking into the distance, Han Feng did not speak. He has not thought about this question yet. No matter how he explains it, it doesn't make sense. It's better to keep silent. They are all your private armed forces. Right. Seeing Han Feng turned his head away and didn't speak, Lin Lan's tone suddenly choked up. Hey, not that bad. Right? Why are you crying? Turning around, Han Feng saw 2 tear marks on Lin Lan's pretty face. Can you tell me? Who are these people? With a crying voice, Lin Lan continued, and this military base. Don't lie to me. I know it didn't exist before. Facing Han Feng's silence, Lin Lan shouted, the country will find this place sooner or later. Sooner or later it will find you. What should I do then? Frowning, Lin Lan's words confused Han Feng. Luna. Check Lin Lan. What's wrong with her? Why so excited? Without making a sound, Han Feng quietly contacted Luna. Chapter 488, Level 3 Warning. Report to Captain Han. Lin Lan's estrogen and progesterone levels increased during her pregnancy. This leads to endocrine disorders, which in turn affects her mood. The system recommends that you try to keep Lin Lan in a good mood and participate in outdoor sports to improve her mood. This will not only relieve Lin Lan's nervousness, but also help the healthy growth and development of the fetus. After Luna explained the crux of the problem, she repeated the system's suggestion in the second half of the sentence. Hearing Luna's answer, Han Feng understood. No wonder. You were taken away. What should I do? Wiping tears with both hands, Lin Lan cried helplessly. No. What do you mean no? No matter how many people you have, can you go against the country? Lin Lan, who was born in a military family, knows the power of the state machine. Just Han Feng's militia. In less than a minute, the country can flatten you. Thinking of the child in her belly, Lin Lan looked at Han Feng with red eyes and begged, no matter what happens in the future, you promise me that you will never go against the country. You can't be an enemy of the country. I promise you. After Lin Lan finished speaking, Han Feng didn't even think about it and answered directly. Seeing Han Feng give the answer so quickly, Lin Lan was stunned. This is different from what she thought. Think about it. You finally have so many loyal armed forces. How could you surrender because of a word from the country? Thinking so, Lin Lan felt that Han Feng was lying to her. But she didn't know that Han Feng had no intention of occupying the mountain as a king. Don't worry. If the National Army really comes, I will hand over all my military power. While speaking, Han Feng put one hand around Lin Lan's shoulders and gently stroked her belly with the other hand and continued. It would be good to be under house arrest in the barracks. The country will support me. You will accompany me. The children will bother me. Haha. Han Feng pretended to look into the distance while laughing, not daring to look into Lin Lan's eyes, because he thought of Wei Yun. It would be better if she was there. Puff. After listening to Han Feng, Lin Lan chuckled. Really? With red eyes, Lin Lan asked in a low voice. Of course it's true. Turning back, Han Feng teased. What do you think I'm doing now? Isn't it for our safety? When the National Army reclaims this land, it means that the zombies will be eliminated. I don't have to worry anymore. When the country reclaims this place, I won't be needed to protect you anymore. This is a good thing. Listening to Han Feng's increasingly quiet voice, Lin Lan lowered her head and continued, "Thank you for your hard work. Aha, it's just a small matter." With a single wave of his hand, Han Feng took Lin Lan's hand and laughed. "Want me to release my military power? Haha, impossible. The red alert system is bound to me alone even if you take away everything from me. You can't take away the gold coins in my system with this guarantee." Han Feng is not worried at all while the two were talking and laughing. They returned to the base wall soon. "Oh, by the way, why don't you go back to the base to rest every day?" Passing by Han Feng's tent where he slept every night, Lin Lan continued, "Before the base was established, I understand that you lived here. But the living environment in the base is much better than here. Why don't you come back? It's nice here. And it's very comfortable to fall asleep listening to the chirping of insects every day." Han Feng lied casually. It's not that Han Feng doesn't want to live a good life. But Han Feng has always had an ominous premonition in his heart. And there is always a faint sense of crisis lingering in his heart, refusing to dissipate. Living in a tent is equivalent to setting up a strong protection here, especially when it is only a few seconds away from the base. In case of a night attack, he can pierce the tent and fight the enemy in the first time. But if he is in the base, he has to wait for the base to open. Although the time was not long, the base was destroyed in just a few seconds when a level 7 zombie led most of the level 6 zombies. "Then I'll sleep here at night. I also want to fall asleep to the sound of insects." Shaking Han Feng's right arm, Lin Lan said in a coquettish tone, "Nonsense. You are 6 months pregnant now. How can you live here? What if the temperature suddenly drops and you get sick?" Just when he said this, Han Feng suddenly remembered the building he missed. The hospital. Yes. Who doesn't have a headache or fever? Especially in 3 months. Lin Lan will be in labor. What if there is no medical staff to deliver the baby? Thinking of this, Han Feng immediately contacted Luna in his mind and said, "Luna, build a hospital. Report to Captain Han. It will take 200,000 gold coins to build a hospital. Please confirm the construction." Confirm. Build. Don't say it's just 200,000. Even if it's 2 million. It has to be built. Okay. Captain Han, please choose a site for the hospital. Note, the area for building a hospital must not be less than 50 meters in length, 30 meters in width, and 10 meters in height. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng was in a dilemma. The area of the hospital alone is 1,500 square meters. Where is there such a place inside the base wall? Aren't there any treatment drugs in the base? Besides, I have a strong physique, so how can I catch a cold easily? At this time, Lin Lan responded to Han Feng's previous refusal. No. This is not negotiable. Han Feng walked in with Lin Lan, firmly saying, "I will. Go back and rest first. And think about what to eat tonight." After sending them to the entrance of the base, Han Feng ordered the springboard to be lowered. After saying that, Han Feng immediately turned around and did not give Lin Lan the opportunity to continue. "Just kidding. I live outside to protect the safety of the base. It's not like I want to suffer this." Standing at the opening of the wall, Han Feng watched Lin Lan enter the base, and then began to work on the expansion. There was no other way. The wall was a little small at the beginning, and now we must find a way to expand it. In this way, the big guy of the hospital can be accommodated. "Luna, tear down the wall on this side." Walking to the corner of the wall, Han Feng pointed to one side. "Okay, Captain Han." Swoosh. After Luna finished speaking, the 100-meter-long wall collapsed in an instant, leaving only a few remnants scattered on the ground. "Extend the wall on this side, and the wall on the other side by 50 meters each." Han Feng pointed his toes and looked into the distance. "Okay, Captain Han." Dong 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 dong. As soon as the words fell, several walls appeared and smashed into the ground. "Fill in the missing walls and dig an entrance in the middle." "Okay, Captain Han." Dong dong dong. After communicating with Luna, Han Feng turned around and looked, seeing 2 sentry guns and machine gun bunkers inside the wall. They seemed out of place. Scratching the back of his head, Han Feng frowned and ordered, "Sell these 4 defensive weapons. Report to Captain Han. Selling defensive weapons will be deducted by 50% of the gold coins. That is The price of the sentry gun is 2,500 gold coins. Sell, sell, sell. Han Feng waved his hand and said, "Okay, Captain Han." Swoosh. 5 seconds later, Han Feng received 7,500 gold coins, and the 4 defensive buildings disappeared, leaving only 2 mobilized soldiers, internal personnel left after selling the machine gun bunkers, standing there waiting for orders. Alas! Luna, build 2 sentry guns and 2 machine gun bunkers. Because the wall was expanded outward by 50 meters. The original defensive weapons had to be moved along with it. Report to Captain Han. Building 2 sentry guns and 2 machine gun bunkers requires a total of... Build it! Build it! Interrupting Luna's question, Han Feng gave the order directly. Okay, Captain Han. You too. Wait until the new machine gun bunker is built. And then go back to work. Looking at the 2 mobilized soldiers not far away, Han Feng instructed. Yes, Captain Han. After responding, the 2 mobilized soldiers walked in unison to the gap in the new wall, waiting for the new machine gun bunker. Luna, there is a place to build a hospital this time. Looking at the huge open space in front of him, Han Feng laughed self-deprecatingly. Report to Captain Han. Are you sure you want to build a hospital here? At this time, Luna was making the final inquiry. Yes. Confirmed. Okay. Captain Han. The hospital is under construction. Estimated construction time, 24 hours. Yes. Nodding, Han Feng turned and walked towards the tent. Sitting on the camp bed, Han Feng held a cigarette in his mouth, took out his mobile phone, and found that the current time was about 7 p.m. Time flies so fast. Looking at the time, Han Feng knew that there was not much time left until dinner. After dinner, Han Feng did not go out for a walk, but chose to rest early. Maybe it was because he waited for the mine detector a little late last night, so he felt a little tired at the moment. At night, Level 3 alert. Unauthorized personnel are approaching the base. Level 3 alert. Unauthorized personnel are approaching the base. Level 3 alert. Huh? What's wrong? Han Feng was awakened from his cot until the cold mechanical sound of the system was about to broadcast the 3rd alarm, and asked Luna in his mind. Report to Captain Han. There are 4 residents of East City who want to approach the base. Where did they go? Hearing that they were residents, Han Feng's speed of dressing slowed down suddenly. They haven't left yet. They are still in East City at this time. Pursing his lips, Han Feng paused in his action of putting on his clothes. The second base is 12 kilometers away from Dongcheng. It takes a while to drive such a long distance. Why should he be in such a hurry? What are they going to do? Sitting on the camp bed, Han Feng continued to ask. Report to Captain Han. They will approach the base once in a while. According to the information we know, they are just curious about the base. If they come, just warn them. If they don't obey, fire a warning shot. After listening to Luna, Han Feng began to take off the clothes he was half wearing. Okay, Captain Han. Luna, what is the level 3 warning just now? What is the danger level? Lying down, Han Feng suddenly thought of the alarm in his mind just now. Report to Captain Han. The 3rd level warning is the lowest level warning. There is no threat. It is just a notification. From now on, you can handle the 3rd level warning by yourself, as long as there is no threat. Don't tell me. As he spoke, Han Feng took out his mobile phone to check. It was only 3:30 in the morning. Okay, Captain Han. From now on, the 3rd level warning without threat will be handled by me, Tanya, and Natasha. Following Han Feng's new order, Luna brought up the other 2 hero-level soldiers. Well, I'll sleep a little longer. Good night. After that, Han Feng turned over and squinted his eyes. Chapter 489, Who is Lying? The next morning. Ring, 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 ring. Snap. A quick alarm woke Han Feng up. He reached out to turn off his phone and tried to open his eyes. He really wanted to sleep a little longer. He stood up, rubbed his sleepy eyes, got out of bed, washed up. More than 10 minutes later, Han Feng finished his housework, dressed neatly, and walked out of the tent. Looking at the base as usual, Han Feng smiled intriguingly and nodded slightly. Entering the base, Han Feng walked towards the restaurant. On the way, an alarm suddenly sounded in my mind. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected an attack intention. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected an attack intention. Level 2 warning. What's wrong? Luna? If you want to eat, go get it yourself. Why do you always steal my food? Before seeing the person, I heard the voice first. Lu Rui's voice shouted before Luna spoke. No need to guess. I guess he and Luja are in conflict again. Report to Captain Han. The mine detector detected an attack intention in the base. After the mine detector's own judgment, it is a level 2 alarm. But the time to detect the attack intention is too short to accurately locate an individual. Luna explained amidst the argument in the restaurant. Attack intention inside the base? Raised his eyebrows. Han Feng continued, haha, I guess Lu Rui, the old guy, is getting angry, but this also fits the image of a fleeting attack intention. It's okay, let's lift the alarm. Han Feng kept walking while replying to Luna. I heard you guys practicing your voice early in the morning, what's up? Do you want to do a warm-up exercise? When they arrived at the restaurant, Han Feng shouted across the air. Boy, you come and judge. Luja always grabs my breakfast every time he doesn't order it himself. We are all family. Why don't you just give it to him? Then I have to wait for another minute. No. Looking at Lu Rui and Luja. The combined age of these two people is half a century. How can they still be so childish? Then next time, you wait for Luja to finish ordering. Then you order. At this moment, Han Feng came up with this compromise. TSK. Damn. Reward you. Seeing Luja's face full of laughter, Lu Rui generously threw the self-heating breakfast rations on the table, then turned and walked towards the rations outlet, ready to order another portion. Captain Han. Look at him. How fat he is. He still eats such a greasy breakfast every day. After Lu Rui left, Luja stepped forward and said, if you want to eat, you can just give him liposuction. Speaking of this, Han Feng thought that the hospital would be operational tonight. The doctors inside were all system produced. Not to mention the top medical equipment. A simple finger reduction surgery. A small scene, but Captain Han. Okay, let's eat, you're so angry early in the morning. After a scold, Han Feng followed Lu Rui's footsteps and lined up behind him to order. Hi. I've ordered your meal for you. Don't stand there stupidly. Suddenly, Lin Lan flashed out from the side and gently patted Han Feng's shoulder. Turning back, he saw Lin Lan holding a breakfast and said with a smile, thank you. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected the intention of attack. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected the intention of attack. Level 2 warning. Han Feng just opened his mouth to thank him, but was interrupted by the warning in his mind. Looking at Lu Rui standing in front of him, Han Feng felt helpless. This kid has a big temper. Thank you. After speaking again, Han Feng took the breakfast with both hands, then turned and walked towards the dining crowd. Hey! Where is Master Ji? After sitting down, Han Feng turned his head and looked around, but did not see Master Ji. It seemed that he had not been seen for several days since the last time we parted. Master Ji went into retreat. Luja answered from the side. Retreat? With a surprised look on his face. Han Feng thought, isn't this a situation that only appears in novels and movies? Well, you are busy. You don't know Master Ji will lock himself in the bedroom every once in a while. It is said that he is concentrating on studying Buddhism. After swallowing, Luja laughed. Isn't he hungry? Who knows, haha. Skinny guy. Eating can't stop your mouth. Fatty, sit. Facing Lu Rui's complaint, Luja smiled. It seems the two have been getting along like this for a long time. Sit down by yourself. I'm going to find my girlfriend's single dog. After that, Lu Rui turned and walked to another table. Come and try it. This is the egg custard I made. Holding the soup bowl and soup spoon, Lin Lan squeezed in next to Han Feng and sat down. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected the intention of attack. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected the intention of attack. I'll go. Take the soup bowl. Han Feng frowned and looked at Lu Rui. He was so angry. But he shouldn't be like this. In more than 10 minutes, 3 or 4 warnings made Han Feng a little angry. But the next second, Han Feng secretly smacked his lips and wondered if he hadn't cared about the team for too long. As a second-generation rich man, Lu Rui was indeed a little spoiled. Facing Luja's provocation, it was possible that he would feel resentful. The next moment, Han Feng remembered the murder news before the end of the world. What if Lu Rui got too angry one day and really hurt Lucia? Alas, I'll give Lu Rui some psychological counseling later. After thinking about it, Han Feng picked up the soup spoon and tasted the soft and tender egg custard. Delicious. You eat first. I'll go get it for Hu. Patting Han Feng on the shoulder, Lin Lan turned around and walked towards the kitchen proudly. More than 20 minutes later. Lu Rui, have you finished eating? Putting down the bowl and chopsticks, Han Feng leaned over and asked. I've finished eating. What's the matter? Come on. Let's go for a walk. Okay. Agreeing to Han Feng, Lu Rui turned around and whispered a few words to his girlfriend, then stood up, having a cigarette. Outside the base, Han Feng took out a pack of cigarettes, took out 2, and gave 1 to Lu Rui. What's the matter? Why do you want to take a walk after breakfast? Lu Rui asked, lighting a cigarette. What's going on between you and Lucia? Han Feng was not someone who could hide things, so he asked straight to the point. The two of us? What can happen between us? It's nothing more than a small fight. Lu Rui knew that Han Feng was talking about what happened in the morning, so he answered lightly. His expression was sincere. Luna analyzed Lu Rui's expression and emotions to see if he is lying. Looking at Lu Rui's eyes, Han Feng wanted to see deeper information from them. But after all, he is not an old criminal policeman and does not have this skill. Okay, Captain Han. The system is analyzing Lu Rui. Please wait. Are you afraid that I will beat him? Lu Rui raised his eyebrows and continued. Impossible, absolutely impossible, I am not a child. Report to Captain Han. According to the system's analysis of Lu Rui, there is no sign that Lu Rui is lying. While Lu Rui was speaking, Luna also read out the report that had just been released. What if you can't help it one day? What if you hurt him? After asking again, Han Feng signaled Luna in his mind to continue monitoring. No. I know this guy is just joking. We don't have any grudges. How could I hurt him? Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected an attack intention. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detected an attack intention. Luna. What's the result? Lu Rui was right in front of him. And he was also talking about assassinating Lucia. At this point, the system issued a second level warning. Which must be? Han Feng had just thought of this when Luna in his mind suddenly reported. Report to Captain Han. After system monitoring, no signs of Lu Rui lying were found. At this moment, Han Feng's mood was up and down, like a roller coaster. The system said there was a second level warning, but it also said that Lu Rui did not lie. Could it be not Lu Rui? It was Lucia. Okay, you go back. Pretending to be relaxed, Han Feng asked Lu Rui to go back to the base first. Okay, call me if you have anything. It's nonsense to say that Lucia was injured. Oh, by the way, call Lucia out. Seeing Lu Rui turn around and take a few steps, Han Feng suddenly spoke. Don't be so nervous. Okay? This is not a big deal, okay? Okay. I'll call him for you. Turning around, Lu Rui comforted Han Feng in return, and then agreed to call Lucia out. Well, I'll wait for him. Waving his hand, Han Feng nodded. Actually, Lu Rui didn't think too much. But there was a problem with his internal team, and he must find this dissatisfied person. With the power of the mine detector, Han Feng learned the news of the injury warning. If I let it go, if someone really uses a knife in the future, that would be extremely stupid. By the way, Luna, we detected so many attack intentions this morning. Can you find out who sent them? Watching Lu Rui walk into the base, Han Feng turned to ask Luna. If Luna could tell him directly who it was, then there would be no need for the interrogation step. Captain Han, I'm sorry, because the time for detecting the second level warning was too short. The system could not track the precise location. After hearing this, Han Feng was deflated. Captain Han, are you looking for me? A few seconds later, a playful question was asked. What happened between you and Lu Rui this morning? I saw that you were both very angry. After asking this question, Han Feng immediately contacted Luna in his mind and said, Luna, start the test. Okay, Captain Han. The system is starting the test. Please wait. Haha, Lu Rui, the fat guy, just told me. It's nothing, just daily operations, just a quarrel. As he spoke, Lucia was smiling. But looking at his eyes, Han Feng couldn't tell whether what this guy said was true or false. Han Feng was waiting for the few seconds he stared at Lucia. Waiting for Luna's report. Report to Captain Han. After the system's preliminary test, no signs of Lucia lying were found. Chapter 490. Thorough investigation. It's not him. It's not Lucia. The moment he got the result, Han Feng understood. The level 2 warning was not caused by these two people. But since it's not them, who else could it be? Captain Han? What's wrong with you? Why don't you talk? Are you afraid that I'm lying? Seeing that Han Feng didn't answer for a few seconds and just looked at him, Lucia asked. You two can play and make trouble. Next time you play, pay attention to the degree. After all, you are a few years older than Lu Rui. So give in to him. This guy has been in the same class with me for 4 years. And I know his temper. I'm not afraid that he will hurt you. But I'm afraid that you will beat him up. He has no ability. If we really fight, he will definitely suffer. So, add hashtag UN % and asterisk, add hashtag UN and it. Prepare for a rainy day. And do your best. At this moment, Han Feng turned into a nagging mother-in-law and persuaded Lucia in his own way. Okay, Captain Han. Don't worry, I have remembered all these. I won't do it. Yeah. Looking at Lucia's sincere expression, Han Feng nodded. Okay. You go back first. Okay. Captain Han, I'm leaving first. Waving his hand, Lucia turned and walked towards the base. It's not them. Could it be? Talking to himself, Han Feng's eyes gradually widened. Could it be Wei Peng? At the beginning, Lin Lan killed Wei Yun with his own hands. And in front of Wei Peng, frowning, Han Feng's heart gradually sank. If Wei Peng had evil intentions, then Lin Lan would have died. Especially, Wei Peng is a speed superpower evolver. It's almost an instant for him to kill anyone. Even if Lin Lan has the telekinetic superpower to control speed, he can't prepare for an instant. Damn. Cursing secretly, Han Feng turned around and walked towards the base, ready to find Wei Peng to talk about this matter. Arriving at Wei Peng's bedroom door, Han Feng saw that the door was open and not closed. Xiao Peng, if you are not busy, why don't we go out for a walk? Han Feng held the door frame and whispered to Wei Peng, who was lying on the bed playing with his phone. Han Feng could not treat Wei Peng the same way as he did Lu Rui and Lucia. After all, this is his brother-in-law. What's wrong? Brother-in-law? Putting down the phone, Wei Peng turned around and asked, I have nothing to do, why don't I go out for a walk? Let's go! Upon hearing this, Wei Peng immediately flew off the bed, turned to the ground, and quickly put on his clothes. Where are you going? Brother-in-law? Putting on his shoes, Wei Peng smiled. Walking around the city, I've been waiting for a few days. You just want a figurine, right? Let's go find one today. Yeah. Waving a few punches into the sky, Wei Peng cheered excitedly. After a few seconds, Wei Peng calmed down and asked softly, Who else? Just the two of us. Just you and me? Where are brother Lu Rui and the others? Don't call them. Just the two of us today. Laughing, Han Feng repeated. Okay, stop asking. Let's go. As he spoke, Han Feng turned and walked towards the outside world. Why did you suddenly think of taking me out today? Sitting in the passenger seat, Wei Peng asked curiously. Take you out to relax. Relax? Wei Peng frowned. First repeated in confusion, and then continued, Are you afraid that I can't stay idle? Well, nodding gently, Han Feng did not explain anything. Half an hour later, Han Feng drove Bo Lao's car out of the West City Wall and came to the city. Luna, find the remains of the anime store, and then turn on the navigation. Holding the steering wheel, Han Feng contacted Luna. Okay, Captain Han. I'm searching for the address of the anime store for you. Navigation is starting. Please wait. 2 seconds later, Luna continued, Go straight at the intersection ahead. How are you feeling recently? Sensing that it was about 7 minutes away from the remains of the anime store, taking this opportunity, Han Feng asked to warm up. It's okay, there are just no zombies to kill. And I feel like I'm going to be paralyzed. At this moment, Wei Peng's eyes were attracted by the ruins outside, and he responded without turning his head. Hearing Wei Peng's violent answer, Han Feng paused. What's wrong? Brother-in-law? Why are you asking me this question suddenly? Maybe Wei Peng felt that Han Feng was a little wrong today, so he couldn't help asking curiously. Are you still sad? Han Feng did not answer Wei Peng's question directly. but said this abruptly. It's okay. Not that sad. It's a tacit understanding between men. Han Feng didn't say who it was, but Wei Peng already knew it. Let it go. What if you don't let it go? Don't hate it anymore? Han Feng's question at this time was mixed with a little confusion. Hee. It's fake not to hate. With a lonely smile, Wei Peng gradually lowered his head. Lin Lan. Is she about to give birth? Just when Han Feng wanted to ask something else, Wei Peng suddenly interrupted. Still 3 months. Almost. After Han Feng finished speaking, Wei Peng looked up at Han Feng. His lips tightly shut, his eyes a little vague. It seemed he was making a difficult decision. I don't mind. Really? Further lowering his eyebrows, Wei Peng whispered. As long as you don't forget her. After hearing Wei Peng's murmur, Han Feng was stunned for a moment, then gently stepped on the brakes to slow down the car. You? As soon as the words came out, Han Feng seemed to react. This little guy. Wouldn't he think? I understand. As soon as Han Feng spoke, Wei Peng immediately looked up at Han Feng. With a relaxed expression, Wei Peng smiled bitterly and said, My sister will not come back. I know that. After a pause, Wei Peng pursed his lips again and continued. Everyone has the right to pursue love. This is not a stumbling block that blocks you. Take a deep breath, and Han Feng is sure. This guy thought he meant to be with Lin Lan and asked for his opinion. What do you think of Lin Lan? Since that's the case, Han Feng chose to take a different approach. Anyway, he was testing Wei Peng's attitude towards Lin Lan, so he might as well take advantage of him. Besides, Lin Lan is about to give birth. It's a done deal that he and Lin Lan will be together. It doesn't matter if it's 1 day earlier or later. It's pretty good, but not as virtuous as my sister. Haha. Wei Peng responded with a wry smile. Can you put down your guard and get along with each other in the future? After asking this, Han Feng quickly contacted Luna and said, Luna, start the test. Okay, Captain Han. The system is starting the test. Please wait. I've already put down my guard that night, when she was pregnant and died for me. 1 life for 1 life. We're even. After Wei Peng finished speaking, Han Feng remembered that it was the night when 13 level 6 zombies descended on the first base. Lin Lan, who was pregnant, did save Wei Peng at the cost of her life. As a price, 2 lives were almost lost. Report to Captain Han. After a preliminary system test, no signs of lying were found in Wei Peng. In just a few seconds, Han Feng's thoughts were overturned again. The person who exuded the intention to attack was not Wei Peng. I sincerely wish you 2 happiness. If you have time, find some paper money. I want to burn some for my sister. Since I can remember, my sister has always been very good to me. I don't want her to go down and suffer poverty. Wei Peng didn't notice the change in Han Feng's expression, and just expressed his feelings. Okay. Wei Peng's words pulled Han Feng back from the edge of distraction. Report to Captain Han. We have arrived at the site of the anime store. At this point, they had arrived. Get off the car. We have arrived at the anime store. Go down and pick a few. Han Feng stopped the car and got off while talking. In his heart, he was thinking about looking for a paper shop to see if he could find paper money. As for the second level warning, Han Feng temporarily put it aside. Anyway, nothing went wrong for so long, and it didn't matter if he had a little time. Bang. After closing the car door, Wei Peng got out and ran to the dilapidated anime store. Just forgive. Just forgive. Looking at Wei Peng's cheerful back, Han Feng felt relieved. Yes, he and Lin Lan were together, and the person who felt the most sorry was Wei Peng. Now that Wei Peng could say such heartfelt words, Han Feng was very relieved. An hour later, after picking and choosing, Wei Peng picked out a trunk of action figures. Dragon Ball, Naruto, Saint Seiya, Gundam, One Piece. Everything he could think of was in the trunk. With a full car of figurines, Han Feng and Wei Peng drove to the paper shop. Half an hour later, under Luna's navigation, the two came to the funeral dragon. Things like paper money are useless in the end of the world, so most of the things are preserved. It's just, the shop is a bit messy. Xiao Peng, you go out first. Glancing around, Han Feng looked at Wei Peng and said, Oh! Nodding, Wei Peng left obediently. SSS? Take out the lighter and light it gently. Huh? 2 minutes later, A raging fire broke out in the paper shop. With the participation of telekinesis, the flames rolled out in the shape of a dragon, constantly shuttling through the sea of fire, burning everything. Sister, I'm here to collect the money. I hope you're doing well in the underworld. Don't worry. My brother-in-law is here to take care of me. I'm fine. Facing the sea of fire, Wei Peng muttered something silently. 2 lines of crystal tears slid down his face. After more than 10 minutes, the entire store burned out, leaving only charred traces. Let's go. Your sister will receive it. Turning around, Han Feng looked at Wei Peng and whispered. After that, Han Feng looked back every 3 steps and walked towards the car. Brother-in-law, I want to go around more. On the way, seeing that Han Feng was heading towards the base, Wei Peng asked tentatively, Let's go. Where do you want to go? Since we're already out, why not let Wei Peng have fun? Well, I don't know. Just drive anywhere? After thinking for a long time, Wei Peng still couldn't think of where he wanted to go. Okay. After that, Han Feng responded and began to wander aimlessly on the street. At dusk, the 2 of them were on their way home. Back at the base, it was already late at night. After sending Wei Peng back, Han Feng continued to look for the heart of the thorough investigation. Everything. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Chapter 491, Thorough Investigation. Ring, 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 ring. The next morning, the phone next to Han Feng's pillow started to noise at the scheduled time. Reaching out to turn off the phone, Han Feng sat up from the bed. At this time, Han Feng had 2 dark circles under his eyes, pursed his lips, and didn't speak. Last night, lying in bed, he began to wonder who this dangerous person was. I don't know from when. Han Feng suddenly thought that Lin Lan had been captured by a mysterious girl. Excluding Lu Rui and Lu Jia, Wei Peng, only Lin Lan is left. As for Hu, she is still young. Even if she really has the so-called intention to attack, she can't hide perfectly in an instant. Master Ji? It's even more impossible. What bad intentions can a high monk have? Moreover, Master Ji is still in seclusion at this time, and it is impossible for him to have any resentment towards anyone. So, all the spearheads seem to be aimed at Lin Lan. Is it that the brand in Lin Lan's mind has not been completely removed? Although the mysterious girl is dead, there are still other mother bodies. If other mother bodies restart Lin Lan, the hidden chess piece, then the internal will face collapse at any time. If this assumption is really true, then Lin Lan is a time bomb. It will explode at any time. In addition, Luna said that the attack intention emitted by this person is too short. Could it be because Lin Lan's main personality is competing for the body? At the beginning, I fell into the trap of the mysterious girl, and I was confused in Lin Lan, causing her to get pregnant with my child. If she betrayed him at this time, the blow to him would be immeasurable. Because of all the speculations and assumptions, Han Feng didn't sleep well all night. After turning off the alarm, Han Feng frowned and got up to wash up. Today, no matter what, he must find out who this person is. Washing his face, Han Feng swore to himself. Half an hour later, you don't look very good today. In the restaurant, standing next to Han Feng, Lin Lan asked. While asking, Lin Lan wanted to reach out and touch Han Feng's forehead to confirm whether Han Feng had a fever. I'm fine. Maybe I didn't rest well yesterday. Seeing Lin Lan reaching out his hand, Han Feng did not dodge, but just explained to himself. Then I'll make you some porridge? After confirming that Han Feng did not have a cold or fever, Lin Lan asked with some doubt. No need to bother, I'll just drink some milk. Well, after a brief exchange between the two, Han Feng walked to the dining table with a plate in his hand. 5 minutes later, Han Feng put down the bowl and chopsticks in his hand, and Lin Lan stared at him, not knowing what happened. I'm full, and after a while, you can come out and take a walk after you finish eating. With a smile, Han Feng stood up and walked outside, looking at Han Feng's back, and then at the breakfast that was mostly left on the table. Lin Lan was even more confused. She thought that he was fine yesterday, but why did he feel like a different person today? On the other hand, look at Han Feng again, walking out of the base alone. Han Feng stood outside the door, basking in the sun, holding a cigarette, feeling very comfortable. But this is just an appearance, because no one knows the anxiety in his heart. Level 2 warning. The mind detector detects the intention of attack. Level 2 warning. The mine detector detects the intention of attack. Level 2 warning. Hiss. The alarm suddenly sounded in his mind, making Han Feng take a breath. It happened again. What's wrong with you? Do you have a headache? As soon as Han Feng's hiss sounded, Lin Lan's question came from behind him. Obviously, Lin Lan followed him out and heard his own gasp. At this time, the second level warning sounded really inappropriate. No. It's okay. Han Feng joked with a tail tone. Maybe it's a little cold in the morning, haha. Don't smoke. Put on more clothes. I see you are not in good condition today. Is it a sign of illness? Frowning slightly, Lin Lan took a few steps forward and came to Han Feng and asked softly. The words were full of concern. At this moment, a ray of sunlight just happened to shine on Lin Lan's face. At this close distance and wonderful angle, Han Feng clearly saw the tiny hairs on Lin Lan's face. Squinting his eyes slightly, facing Lin Lan without makeup, Han Feng could still feel the pure breath coming to him. Okay. I won't smoke. The next second, Han Feng looked away, threw down the cigarette he had just lit, and stepped on it. What's wrong with you? Are you having troubles? How are you recently? Is there anything weird? For example, mood, emotions or something? After Lin Lan finished speaking, Han Feng did not directly answer her question, but changed the subject and asked, Strange things? Frowning deeply, Lin Lan's expression was full of doubts and memories. Are you in a good mood? Emotions are sometimes unstable, but I know this is a side effect of pregnancy. Lin Lan replied after about 4 or 5 seconds. After listening, Han Feng was silent for a while, and continued to ask, Do you have any opinions or suggestions about our team? No, it's pretty good. Everyone is having a good time. It's nothing more than Lu Rui and Luge arguing. After speaking, Lin Lan reacted and said in a joking tone, Are you upset because of what happened between Lu Rui and Luge yesterday morning? Haha, you are too nervous. You are not often in the team, so you don't know. Next, Lin Lan recounted every detail of their lives. But Han Feng knew the problem was not caused by these few people at all. Is that so? It seems that I think too much. After Lin Lan finished speaking, Han Feng smiled and lowered his eyebrows. Are you still in contact with the Holy Lord? Suddenly, Han Feng looked up and asked abruptly, You? After Han Feng finished speaking, Lin Lan inadvertently took a step back, stared, and murmured in fear, Luna, start the test. Noticing the details, Han Feng immediately ordered Luna to start the test. Okay, Captain Han. The system is starting the test for Lin Lan. Please wait. Holy Lord. Is she here? Lin Lan explained before Luna finished speaking. That's right. Lin Lan doesn't know the news of the Holy Lord's death. Wait. Lin Lan doesn't know the news of the Holy Lord's death. What's wrong with you? Is the Holy Lord here? Lin Lan stepped forward and grabbed Han Feng's arm and asked after catching the change in Han Feng's expression and pupils. The tone was extremely anxious. Are you still in contact with her? Strike while the iron is hot. Han Feng asked repeatedly. No. How is that possible? How can I? Halfway through the sentence, Lin Lan didn't know how to prove herself. No contact? Looking at Lin Lan's evasive eyes, Han Feng quietly raised his tone. And in his heart, there was a sense of despair growing. No. I promise. Absolutely not. Luna, give me the results. The next moment after Lin Lan finished speaking, Han Feng immediately contacted Luna. Report to Team Han. After a preliminary analysis of the system, no signs of Lin Lan lying were found. Hearing this, Han Feng's eyes widened instantly. What the hell is going on? Han Feng, I beg you. Perhaps Lin Lan saw the distrust in Han Feng's eyes, so he continued in a sonorous tone, I beg you. Break the bones of my limbs. You? Listen to me first. Seeing that Han Feng wanted to say something, Lin Lan directly put his index finger on Han Feng's lips, signaling him to shut up and listen to what she said first. I know. The Holy Lord will never let you go. She wants to suppress you, and the best way is to use me, in order not to hurt you. I am willing to lose my limbs, so you can rest assured. In this way, even if I betray you again, I will not pose any threat to you. I know that you have a potion that can rebuild my broken tendons. So I am not afraid. At this point, the sonorous look in Lin Lan's eyes gradually became soft, and continued, but I have 2 requests. First, I don't want anesthesia. I'm afraid of hurting him. As he spoke, Lin Lan frowned and stared at his bulging belly, and gently stroked it, as if saying goodbye. Second, looking up, Lin Lan continued, second, blind my eyes. Seal my room, and don't let anything in it. In this way, I can't see, so I can't use my telekinesis. Even if I use my telekinesis, there is nothing in the room for me to commit a crime. Haha, how is it? This time, can you rest assured? Promise me. Kill the Holy Lord. So, I can be completely free. In this way, the last barrier between us can be filled. At the end, Lin Lan's eyes were already in tears. Luna, give me the results. Han Feng, holding his fists, endured the heartache and roared in his mind. Report to Captain Han. After real-time detection by the system, no signs of Lin Lan lying were found. Influenced by Han Feng's emotions, Luna's answer this time was particularly powerful. The Holy Lord is dead. I killed him a few days ago. Take a step forward. Han Feng hugged Lin Lan and confessed. Really? What surprised Han Feng was that Lin Lan only replied softly, without the joy he thought. What? You don't want to? Lin Lan. Hey! Telekinesis. Activate. Letting go of Lin Lan, Han Feng was about to say something witty to ease the atmosphere, but unexpectedly, Lin Lan fainted backwards. At this moment, Han Feng panicked, and it was too late to catch her. Fortunately, telekinesis supported her in time. Going around behind Lin Lan, Han Feng supported her and asked Luna, what's wrong with her? Reporting to Captain Han, Lin Lan's mood swings caused her to be temporarily unconscious. Will she be okay? Lin Lan is a pregnant woman, so Han Feng dare not slack off. Reporting to Captain Han, please rest assured that Lin Lan will be okay. However, the system recommends that she rest for a few days, and please pay attention to Lin Lan's mood during the rest period. After getting the system's answer, Han Feng felt relieved. Chapter 492, Thorough Investigation. Holding Lin Lan, Han Feng walked towards her bedroom. Luna, when will she wake up? Report to Captain Han. 7 hours later. Oh. Han Feng responded and indicated that he knew. Tanya, Natasha, you two have to take care of her. Standing next to Lin Lan's bed, Han Feng instructed in his mind. Okay, Captain Han. The two responded in unison, and within half a minute, they arrived at Lin Lan's place. Lin Lan is in your hands. I'm going to go out for a while. With a cold face, Han Feng silently gave instructions and left the bedroom. After leaving the base, Han Feng ran to the mountains alone. More than 10 minutes later, Han Feng stopped in the mountains. He found a suitable stone and jumped up. Sitting on it, Han Feng took out a cigarette and lit one. Luna, Lin Lan really didn't lie. After a pause, Han Feng asked. Report to Team Han. After preliminary analysis by the system, yes, she didn't lie. Holding the cigarette in his mouth, he hesitated for a while, and asked tentatively, Luna, do you think, could it be that the mother body is helping her? As he spoke, Han Feng thought of the Matrix, which has the ability to invade consciousness. And this kind of invasion cannot be detected by the system. In this case, is it possible that the Matrix is cheating the system? Deliberately making it undetectable by the system? Because there is really no one in the base. Boss Wing, since the crisis was resolved, he has returned to East City. He has not been in the base these days, so it can't be him. Master Ji and Fox said before that it is impossible. The only one who is most suspicious is Lin Lan. It's not that Han Feng is unwilling to believe her, but there are too many things involved in this matter. Han Feng must find out who it is, who can make the system unable to quickly locate this person, no matter who it is. It is not simple. Absolutely not simple. Report to Captain Han. The speculation you mentioned. I'm sorry. The system cannot give you a definite answer. Following Han Feng's question, Luna answered truthfully. Luna, is there any way to control Lin Lan's mind? Instantly, this thought came to Han Feng's mind. Since it is impossible to determine whether Lin Lan has completely gotten rid of it, Then just control her mind. Let the Matrix and the system fight, and see who will laugh last. Doing this, at least I won't hurt her, but the Matrix. I can't say for sure. Report to Captain Han. There is such a way. Holding his breath and concentrating, Han Feng listened carefully to Luna's words. Finally, in Luna's long-drawn sentence, Han Feng got the as-expected answer. What method? Hearing that there was a chance, Han Feng jumped up from the stone immediately. Report to Captain Han. You can build a building that is an auxiliary building of the mine detector. The mind control tower. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng was stunned. Yes, Yuri's camp does have skills and buildings that can control the mind. In the game Red Alert 2, Glory of the Republic, Yuri can control infantry or tank vehicles alone. And the mind control tower can continuously control 3 enemy arms. Such a precious building. Why didn't I think of it? Luna, build a mind control tower. With a solution. Han Feng said immediately. Sorry, Captain Han. You can't build the mind control tower for the time being. Please upgrade the mine detector to 3 stars first. Upgrade the mine detector to level 3. Holding tens of millions of gold coins, Han Feng didn't care about this small request. Report to Captain Han. Each upgrade of the mine detector requires 1 million gold coins. Please confirm the upgrade. Confirm. Upgrade directly to the 3rd level building. Okay, Captain Han. The mine detector is being upgraded. Please wait. After Luna finished speaking, the number in Han Feng's gold coin column instantly disappeared by 3 million. 2 seconds later, Luna paused and continued, Report to Captain Han. The mine detector has been upgraded to the maximum level. Congratulations to the commander for upgrading the mine detector to the full star level and unlocking the mine detector's auxiliary building. The mine control tower. Luna, build the mine control tower. At this moment, Han Feng didn't care about the cold mechanical congratulations of the system. He only wanted to build something to control the mind to prevent future troubles. Report to Captain Han. It takes 3 million gold coins to build the mine control tower. Construction time, 0 hours. Please confirm the construction. Construction. 3 million. Small money. Huh? No construction time required. As soon as the arrogant words were finished, Han Feng suddenly realized that 0 hours. Isn't it no CD? Report to Captain Han. Yes. The mind control tower is a hidden defense weapon. Because of its high cost, it saves construction time. Haha, God help me. Build. Okay. Captain Han. Please choose the construction site. Note, the length and width of the mind control tower must not be less than 7 meters. The construction height must not be less than 12 meters. There is an open space next to the hospital. So just build it there. Okay. Captain Han. The mind control tower is under construction. Please wait. As soon as the previous sentence fell, Luna seamlessly connected and continued, Report to Captain Han. The mind control tower has been built. Looking from a distance, Han Feng looked at the base. Sure enough, not far from the hospital, a tall spire stood. Congratulations, Commander. You have completed the construction of the mine detector and its ancillary buildings. Next, the system will open a random lottery for you. Reward content, unknown. Probability of winning, 100%. Huh? Hearing the sudden mechanical sound of the system in his mind, Han Feng was stunned. The next second, Han Feng suddenly remembered. Luna had told him, when the mine detector is completed, there is a mysterious prize waiting for him. Because of the excitement at the time, I forgot about this matter. Now that I think about it, it turns out that you have to build all the set of buildings before you can unlock it. Haha, double happiness. Come on. Excuse me, Commander. Shall we draw the lottery now? Han Feng finished laughing, and the system asked in a mechanical voice. Draw? Okay, Commander. The system is drawing the lottery for you at random. Please wait. Ding. The next moment after the mechanical voice finished speaking, a crisp ding sound rippled in the mind. Congratulations, Captain Han, for obtaining a small portable mine detector. After the system finished speaking, it disappeared in Han Feng's confused expression. Luna, a small portable mine detector. What is it? With a little confusion, Han Feng thought, since he already has a mine detector, why do he need to carry it with him? A radius of 500 miles is not enough for him to play with. Report to Captain Han. A small portable mine detector means that when you step out of the main detection range of the mine detector, you can still monitor the attack intentions within a kilometer around you at all times. Oh, it's good, but it's a bit useless. Suddenly realizing, Han Feng felt that this thing was useless. Luna, let the mind control tower control Lin Lan. Back to the topic. Han Feng immediately said, "Excuse me, Captain Han. Are you sure you want to use the mind control tower to control Lin Lan's mind? Note, the mind control tower can only control 3 people. Once the mind is bound by the mind control tower, it will be permanently unable to be removed." Confirmed. After thinking it over, Han Feng decided to control and bind Lin Lan. "Okay, Captain Han. The mind control tower is controlling Lin Lan's mind. Please wait." 2 seconds later, Luna continued, "Report to Captain Han. Lin Lan's mind has been bound." Nodding. Han Feng asked worriedly, "Luna, if the mother body still wants to control Lin Lan, how will Lin Lan react?" Report to Captain Han. Because the binding relationship of the mind control tower is permanent and unique, so Lin Lan will no longer be controlled by any other substance. Even the mother body cannot control Lin Lan. That's good. It seems that the bet was right. Donor Han? It's you. Haha. While Han Feng was whispering, the voice of Master Ji suddenly sounded behind him. Turning back to look at the voice, Han Feng saw Master Ji wearing a somewhat tattered monk's robe, carrying a backpack, and seemed to be picking something. "Hello, Master Ji." At this moment, Han Feng was in a good mood, and there was a genuine smile on his face. "Donor Han, what is the matter that makes you happy? Can you tell me? Let me rejoice too," Master Ji asked with a smile. "Haha, 1,000-mile embankment will not be destroyed by an ant hole, haha." Oh hee hee. After hearing this, Master Ji smiled and said nothing more. "Let's go, Master Ji. We have closed the gate and collected the herbs. Let's go back," Han Feng asked, pointing in the direction of the base. "Master Han, please go back first. I will wander around for a few more hours." "Okay, I'll go first." Han Feng clasped his hands together, saluted, turned around and jumped towards the base. "Lin Lan is fine, nothing will happen again, haha." Running in the woods, Han Feng was in high spirits, and kept muttering this sentence. That's right. The brand of the Holy Lord's mind always pierces the hearts of the two like a thorn. Now, in the future, this thorn will disappear forever. There will never be another one. Lin Lan and I are bound together by heart, and will never betray me again. Just like Tanya. Just like the Red Alert soldiers. Haha. Whenever Han Feng thought of this, he would laugh out loud to express his joy. More than 10 minutes later, Han Feng returned to the base. Entering the base, Han Feng went straight to Lin Lan's bedroom without thinking. Are you eating magpie farts? Your mouth is grinning to the back of your ears. In the corridor, Han Feng ran into Lu Rui and Lu Jia. Seeing Han Feng so happy, Lu Rui smiled and said something sarcastic. Lu Jia, on the other hand, stood aside with his hands in his pockets, watching the good show. Go away, you are everywhere, go play. Dodge the two. Han Feng continued to walk towards Lin Lan's bedroom. Who haunts and am back. Like a child, Han Feng supported the door frame of Lin Lan's bedroom and smiled complete the binding. So happy? Looking at Han Feng, Tanya raised her eyebrows and asked. Since Tanya and Natasha are hero-level soldiers, both of them can get Han Feng's big moves at will. Of course. After responding casually, Han Feng raised his legs and walked into the bedroom, walking towards Lin Lan on the bed. But, just then, Level 2 warning. The mind detector detected the intention of attack. Level 2 warning. The mind detector detected the intention of attack. Level 2 warning. Chapter 493. How could this happen? This voice sounded in his mind, and Han Feng suddenly stopped and stood there, looking a little at a loss. Seeing Han Feng's state and expression, Tanya and Natasha were puzzled at first, and their expressions became strange the next second. It seems that they should have asked Luna. How could this happen? Han Feng muttered absent-mindedly with a stunned look, looking at Lin Lan, who was still unconscious on the bed. Han Feng suddenly turned his head, as if there was some danger behind him. Huhu. Behind Han Feng, at the door of Lin Lan's bedroom, Huhu was holding a doll in her hand and standing there looking at him. Calling Fox softly, Fox smiled. Han Feng recognized the doll in her arms at a glance. It was brought back for her by Wei Peng when he was collecting figurines a few days ago. Huhu. Are you dissatisfied with who? Lu Rui, Lu Jia, Lin Lan, Wei Peng. They all underwent the review of the system. Master Ji and Boss Wang were not in the base at this time. The only one was Fox in front of him. Within a day, the second level warning can alarm dozens of times. Each time, it only stays for a few tenths of a second. Even Han Feng dare not say that he can achieve such perfection with this control. Big brother, why do you ask that? Holding the doll, Huhu frowned and asked back. For some reason, Han Feng felt that Huhu had changed. Whether it was his expression, words, or anything else. Do you hate someone? Did someone make you unhappy? Han Feng forced a playful expression and continued to ask. At the same time, he contacted Luna in his mind and said, Luna, start the test. Okay, Captain Han. The system is starting the test. Please wait. No, everyone is very nice to Huhu. Huhu doesn't hate anyone. After Luna finished speaking, Huhu's little face smiled like a flower. Luna, give me the results. Reporting to Captain Han. After preliminary system testing, no signs of lying were found in Huhu. This? How is this possible? Instantly, Han Feng felt like he had seen a ghost. Everyone in the base had been checked by him. The only ones left were Tanya, Natasha, and all the Red Alert soldiers. But Red Alert soldiers would never have such a mentality. Even if Tanya or someone else really had resentment in their hearts. Luna didn't need a mind detector at all, and could instantly know who it was. But the reality was like a heavy punch, hitting his heart hard. Not only was it painful, but it also made him dazed. Suddenly, Han Feng remembered something. On the night when Wei Yun died, Huhu was the only witness of the Holy Lord. Could it be that there was also a brand in Huhu's mind? Luna, control Huhu's mind. At this time, Han Feng went crazy. That's right. Han Feng was driven crazy in this matter where he tried all his methods, but couldn't find the problem itself. Finding the root of the problem at all costs is Han Feng's current obsessive persistence. Report to Captain Han. Can you let the mind control tower control and bind Huhu's mind? Note, the mind control tower has 2 remaining control times left. Once the control and binding are completed, it will be permanent and irreversible. Confirmed. Confirmed. From the outside, Han Feng was smiling and his eyes were calm. In fact, Han Feng's heart was already in turmoil. It was churning. Okay, Captain Han. The mind control tower is controlling Huhu's mind. Please wait. Hearing this, Han Feng breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Lin Lan and Huhu are fine, it's good. But who knew that Luna should have reported the results in 2 seconds? And this time, there was no follow-up speech for 5 seconds. Luna? Luna? In his mind, Han Feng was a little anxious. Han Feng, who was not good at hiding his feelings, also had a subtle change on his expression at this moment. Report to Captain Han. The mind control tower controlled, and the binding failed. Repeat. The mind control tower controlled, and the binding failed. Repeat. Hearing this strange word, Han Feng was completely stunned. The next second, a feeling of extreme danger exploded in his heart. Not only Han Feng was like this. Tanya and Natasha behind him also subconsciously made defensive or offensive postures in an instant. However, since they could not find the source of danger, their eyes kept searching the room. Huhu. With a look of fear, distraction, and surprise, Han Feng looked at Huhu and whispered, Heh, why bother? Do you have to do this? Suddenly, Huhu changed her tone. You? Staring, Han Feng couldn't believe what he heard. Huhu. You? Behind Han Feng, Tanya also showed extreme emotions. After all, you found me. Hee hee. Releasing the arms holding the doll, Huhu held the doll in one hand to the side of the body, looking indescribably weird. Until now, Han Feng didn't know what happened. The brain was in a state of confusion. Swoosh. Whoosh. The next moment, Huhu disappeared from his sight. Han Feng was caught off guard by the speed. No! She's trying to escape. After saying the above sentence, Han Feng immediately contacted Luna and said, Block the base. Quick! Quick! Report to Captain Han. Huhu has left the base. Following Han Feng's order, Luna whispered, TSK TSK. Han Feng made a helpless TSK TSK sound. He remembered that in order to better ventilate the base, the gangplank at the base gate was open during the day. It would only be closed at night. And Han Feng could never have thought of this. Hu would take this opportunity to leave. Luna. Staggering. Han Feng used the stool beside him and continued, looking for Hu. Where did she go? Looking for. Okay. Captain Han. Please wait. 2 seconds later. Luna continued, sorry. Captain Han. The system radar did not find any trace of Hu. 500 kilometers. 500 kilometers. 500 kilometers. How could she run away? Find her. Find her. Holding his chest. Han Feng screamed in pain. Yes. Captain Han. Captain Han. What's wrong with you? After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng could no longer hold on, and his legs gradually became limp. Seeing this, Tanya, who was closest to Han Feng, flashed behind Han Feng and supported him with her body, and asked anxiously, "Ah?" At this moment, Han Feng closed his eyes tightly and said nothing. Only from time to time, he made a short moan. Tanya, Captain Han's mood fluctuated too much, causing a chain reaction of physical and physiological reactions. Please help Captain Han to rest. In Tanya's mind, Luna said word by word. Oh. Nodding in panic, Tanya picked up Han Feng and walked to Lin Lan's side, then put him down. Hu. Lying on the bed, Han Feng began to call Hu's name. There was more white than black in his eyes, and he rolled his eyes, showing signs of fainting. Looking at Han Feng's state, Tanya and Natasha knew the reason. From the outbreak of zombies to now, for nearly a year, Han Feng almost treated Hu as his own daughter. Han Feng can be said to be responsive to Hu's care. Whenever he has some time, he will stay with Hu. To put it more bluntly, even if Lin Lan betrayed, it would not be as painful as Hu. After the last murmur, Han Feng fell into a coma. Seeing Han Feng fall asleep with a frown on his face, Tanya and Natasha looked at each other. Neither of them knew how to deal with the matter later. Brother-in-law. At this time, Wei Peng flashed into Lin Lan's bedroom, calling Han Feng non-stop. What happened to my brother-in-law? What happened just now? Wei Peng, who had just arrived, saw the two people unconscious on the bed and asked Tanya anxiously. This, looking at Han Feng and then at Wei Peng. Tanya was speechless for a moment, not knowing what to say. Smelly boy. Hey! A few seconds later, Lu Rui and Lu Zhi came over and gathered beside Han Feng's bed and shouted, "Let Captain Han have a good rest. If there is anything, wait until Captain Han wakes up." Seeing more and more people gathered in the bedroom, Tanya began to see the guests off. I won't leave. I want to stay and look after my brother-in-law. At this moment, Wei Peng looked stubborn, acting like a stubborn donkey. Yeah. What happened to Han Feng? Wasn't he fine when I saw him just now? How? Why did he suddenly faint? What happened to Lin Lan? Pointing at Han Feng on the bed, Lu Rui asked angrily. His tone was full of questioning. It seemed that he was complaining about Tanya and Natasha's poor supervision. No one is allowed to disturb Team Han during his rest period. Suddenly, the aura of Tanya and Natasha changed. Then, Tanya continued, "Please go out and wait. If you don't go out, I will personally ask you to go out." Tanya's expressionless words were full of threat. "Why can you stay here? This is my brother-in-law. I am his." Bang! Wei Peng wanted to shout something with his neck stiff, but unexpectedly Tanya made a move in an instant, and chopped Wei Peng's neck with one hand in the shape of a knife. Bang! The next moment, Wei Peng's limp body fell to the ground, and there was no sound anymore. Oh my god! Are you crazy? We just want to know what happened. Why did Han Feng do this? How could you? No one is allowed to disturb Team Han during his rest period. With a calm expression, Tanya continued. After Han Feng fell into a coma, the system automatically took over the existing red alert force. All this was to protect Han Feng. Looking at Tanya, then at Natasha, Lu Rui shook his head helplessly, pulling Wei Peng up from the ground. Lu Rui walked straight out of Lin Lan's bedroom without saying another word. Chapter 494, Answering Questions and Solving Doubts. After Lu Rui and his group left, time slowly passed. In a blink of an eye, it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. After being in a coma for 8 hours, Lin Lan finally uttered a mumbling sound. After a few seconds, Lin Lan's long eyelashes trembled constantly, showing signs of waking up. What's wrong with me? Opening his eyes and seeing himself in the bedroom, Lin Lan asked softly. His voice was a little hoarse. You were in a coma for 8 hours and 4 minutes. Come, drink some water. Answering Lin Lan's question, Tanya handed over a glass of water intimately. Thank you. As he spoke, Lin Lan propped himself up with his arms and leaned against the headboard. Ah? Han Feng? What happened to him? As he stood up, Lin Lan noticed something was wrong around him. After turning his head and seeing Han Feng, he asked in panic. Captain Han is fine. He fainted because of his mood. Just like you. Keeping the gesture of handing water, Tanya replied. When will he wake up? After confirming that Han Feng was fine, Lin Lan felt a little relieved. He took the water and asked. I don't know. It should be soon. Tanya didn't know how to answer this question, so she had to evade it. Oh. After drinking a few sips of water, Lin Lan slowly got out of bed and prepared to take care of Han Feng himself. At the end of the bed, Tanya and Natasha looked at each other. The four eyes seemed to be communicating whether to drive Lin Lan out. After a few seconds, the two looked away and decided to let her stay. Another 5 hours later, at night, Han Feng's body twitched slightly unconsciously on the bed, showing a tendency to wake up. Seeing this, Lin Lan, who was guarding the window, got up and prepared to get a glass of water. After a while, Han Feng slowly opened his eyes, looked at the ceiling and murmured hoarsely. Are you awake? Come, drink some water. Lin Lan reached out to help Han Feng sit up with the cup on the ground. Fox? Fox? What's wrong? Hearing Han Feng muttering Fox's name, Lin Lan frowned and asked back. Where's Fox? Did you find it? After getting up, Han Feng ignored the cup of water, but glanced at the three people and asked. Tanya shook her head silently at Han Feng. Seeing this, Han Feng was silent. What's wrong? What happened? Seeing Han Feng's state, Lin Lan's heart skipped a beat. A bad premonition spread in his heart. It's okay. It's okay. Han Feng took the water cup and repeated it twice. I'm going out for a while. After drinking the water, Han Feng got up and got out of bed. Where are you going? It's late at night. I'll be back soon. Without looking back, Han Feng walked out of the bedroom quickly. Brother-in-law. Opening the door of Lin Lan's bedroom, Wei Peng whispered outside. Go and rest. I'm going out for a while. Without explaining anything, Han Feng left expressionlessly. Standing in the dark outside, Han Feng stood alone, not knowing where to go. Swish. Swish. Pulling out a cigarette, Han Feng quietly lit it. Luna? Still can't find Hu? Han Feng asked, holding a cigarette in his mouth. Reporting to Team Han. No trace of Hu was found in the system radar. Getting a repeated answer, Han Feng pursed his lips. Who is Hu? Is it the mother? Frowning, Han Feng began to think about this question. If she is not the mother, then who is Hu? At this moment, there seemed to be endless questions, sweeping Han Feng's fragile nerves from all directions. Thinking about things, Han Feng wandered aimlessly in the mountains. Half an hour later, when Han Feng came to his senses and saw the scenery in front of him, he was stunned. Isn't this Lu Meng's empty tomb? How did I run here? Huh? At this time, a breeze blew the corner of Han Feng's clothes. In a trance, Han Feng had a feeling of dislocation of time and space. Deja vu. He seemed to have experienced this scene. Big brother, are you looking for me? Suddenly, a childish female voice sounded behind him. It was Hu. Hearing the voice, Han Feng quickly turned around and saw Hu holding the doll behind him. I was originally looking for Hu, but when she stood in front of me, I didn't know what to say. Is it fun? Big brother? Hu smiled and asked with a look of interest. This tone, is the Holy Lord. You are the Holy Lord. As soon as this thought came up, Han Feng asked directly. Holy Lord. Hee. You can call me that. Hu looked calm. Looked particularly weird in response to Han Feng's shock. You are the Holy Lord. Are you really? Wait. Halfway through his words, Han Feng paused. If Hu is the Holy Lord, then who is the mysterious girl? Lu Ming admitted that he is the Holy Lord. At this time. Hu also. What about the Matrix? Are you the Matrix? Han Feng has not figured out the previous question yet. And he is impatient to ask the next question. Matrix? Well, okay, you can also call me that. With his small head lowered, Hu dragged out his voice. Matrix. At this time, Han Feng felt that he was about to explode. Why? These three words kept echoing in his mind. Hu is the Matrix. Hu is the Holy Lord. What about the mysterious girl Lu Ming? What is the connection between them? Haha, are you surprised? At this time, Hu did not forget to make a provocative remark. Looking at Hu's strange face, Han Feng felt difficulty breathing. It seemed that a pair of invisible hands strangled his throat. Suddenly, Han Feng recalled every detail of the past. How did he meet Hu in the first place? It was half a month after the zombie outbreak, and they met for the first time in the classroom. Hee. At this moment, Han Feng suddenly realized, who can survive for half a month in a campus full of zombies? Even if he put himself in Hu's position at that time, he could not survive for 10 days. Without food and water, no one can bear it. And Hu? Except for her dirty appearance, her mental state is completely fine. She is the mother, a mother lurking beside me. It's a pity. Ridiculous. Pitiful that I have never doubted it. After thinking about the first thing, Han Feng remembered that before the first zombie craze broke out in the first base, it was Hu. She accurately predicted the direction of the zombies' attack. The situation was too critical at the time, and I forgot about it afterwards. It was not until now that the clues appeared. In addition, on the night when the first base was severely damaged, Hu said that she saw a little brother. Haha. The Holy Lord is obviously a woman. At this time, Han Feng realized that he had been deceived. Later, when he first saw a level 7 zombie, I was just being sentimental. It wasn't saluting me at that time. It was saluting Fox. Its queen. Haha, want to know. When the queen has had enough fun. I really can't imagine how ugly your expression will be, haha. Thinking about it, Han Feng suddenly thought of the words that the 7th level zombie had said to him. You are really the mother, another mother. The next second, Han Feng tightened his lips and teeth to come back to his senses. Why do you have to be like this? Let me accompany you more. Isn't it good? Under the night, on the dark mountain, Fox admired the exquisite doll in her hand and said without even looking at Han Feng. Ha ha. Looking at Hu, Han Feng suddenly burst into laughter. But 2 tear marks appeared on his face, for no reason. Why? Why you? Why? After laughing, Han Feng glared at Hu and roared. His tone was full of sadness and helplessness. Why? Haha, because of curiosity. Because it's fun. Following Han Feng's question, Hu said word by word. You? Raising a shaking hand and pointing at Hu. Han Feng couldn't utter a word for a long time. Do you know why I chose you? Looking at Han Feng, Hu asked crisply. Why? Because you have been killing my people. Putting down the doll in her hand, Hu continued, I am very curious. Others will only run away when they see the so-called zombies. Only before they die will they have the idea and action of fighting. But you are different, you chase my people and kill them. Originally, I just wanted to know why you did this. Until a strange thing kept invading my brain. I became more curious. Bending the index finger, Hu tapped his head lightly. Han Feng knew that what Hu was referring to was Luna's brain wave monitoring. So, I lied to you and said I lost my memory. Which would save a lot of trouble, haha. And then? I think it won't take long for you to know the purpose of my killing zombies. Why didn't you show your true nature at that time? I told you. Because I was curious and it was fun. With a sarcastic and nonchalant tone, Hu continued, I want to see how far you can grow and whether you will exceed my expectations. Hearing such strange remarks, Han Feng moved his lips to say something, but he hesitated. Mysterious girl Lu Ming. Who is she? After a pause, Han Feng asked. Han Feng himself could not find the answer to this question. Only Hu could give the ultimate explanation. You mean Lu Ming? Haha. I am Lu Ming. Han Feng felt like he was falling into an abyss when he heard Hu's brief words. Lu Ming. Hu are the same person? Impossible. Impossible. Lu Ming is dead. She is dead? How is it possible? Hu. In Han Feng's crazy muttering, Hu suddenly waved his sleeves and pulled him into a strange space. In other words, it was a consciousness. Take a look, you will understand. In the pitch-black darkness, Han Feng felt that he was bound by something and could not move. Where is the experimental subject? Are you ready? Chapter 495. Lu Meng reappears. Just as Han Feng was about to break free, a strange voice suddenly came from his ear. Then, his surroundings gradually became brighter, and it was a laboratory full of foreigners. I don't know how Fox changed the video language. It seems that these people are speaking a foreign language. But to him, it is the Chinese language. Here they come. Outside the door, several men's voices sounded. A few seconds later, a ragged girl was dragged in. Although the girl lowered her head and her hair covered her face, Han Feng still recognized her at a glance. She was Lu Meng. Lu Meng. With a subconscious exclamation, Han Feng stepped forward to kill everyone and save Lu Meng. But the next second, Han Feng found himself passing through all obstacles. He was like a ghost. He couldn't touch anything. Can I move? Looking at his body, Han Feng found that he had broken free from the restraints. Helplessly, as an outsider, Han Feng could only stand in the video projected by holographic technology and watch Lu Meng being tortured with his own eyes. At this time, the picture fast-forwarded, and in a few seconds, it came to the picture where Lu Meng was about to be injected. Start recording. Energy 6 reagent. The first. Han Feng had seen this scene before, so he felt familiar. Ah! Tied to the bed, Lu Meng let out a terrifying roar. Then, Lu Meng broke free from the shackles on his limbs and broke free. His hands turned into sharp claws and killed all the living things in the laboratory. You have seen it. In the void, Hu's voice came. Haha, Dad. Come chase me. Mom. Mom. Dad scared me. Woo woo. The scene changed to Lu Meng's childhood memory. On the green lawn, Hu was wearing a white dress and a ponytail and running on the grass. Behind her, a man whose face could not be seen was chasing her. Instantly, Han Feng knew. When Lu Meng was a child, she was Hu. No wonder. The two of them have an indescribable similarity. But why? After he killed Lu Meng, Hu. No! These are simply two people. Two completely different entities. Difference? Feeling Han Feng's thoughts, Hu's ethereal voice echoed in the void again. You? Huh? The space twisted. Time turned. And the next moment, Han Feng opened his eyes and saw that he was still standing in the same place. But Hu was only 2 meters away from him. Look! Hu raised his hand and pointed at the empty tomb passage of Lu Meng. Following Hu's direction, Han Feng saw a strange scene. Wei Yun. It was Wei Yun who walked out of the tomb. Instantly, Han Feng's pupils shrank to the point of a needle. I saw Wei Yun walk out of the tomb. That's right. That's right. You will die here. You will die. Die here. Looking at Wei Yun, Han Feng suddenly heard Lu Rui's muttering that day. If Wei Yun leaves, then I will die. These words began to rise in Han Feng's heart. Hey! Didn't you always want to see her? Why do you look like this? In front of Han Feng, Hu asked in surprise. In her understanding, shouldn't Han Feng be ecstatic? She is not Wei Yun. Looking away, Han Feng looked at Hu and shouted. Ha ha ha. Looking at Han Feng, Hu didn't say anything. Just laughed. Laughed until she covered her stomach. But I can always use this look. What? Don't you like it? Beside the grave, Wei Yun said in Wei Yun's voice. Looking back, Wei Yun began to fade. Gradually, she turned into Lu Meng. What about this look? Do you like it? A white dress. It was exactly what she was wearing when she died. Who are you? Han Feng pointed at Lu Meng, who suddenly appeared. And he couldn't believe it. In the sonorous tone, there was also a tremor for the first time. I am Lu Meng. Then who is she? Who is she? Turning back, Han Feng continued to look at Hu. Then you watch carefully. At this time, the two said the sentence at the same time. After that, Hu raised his leg and walked towards Lu Meng. And Lu Meng also changed his route and walked straight towards Hu. In a trance, the two walked together. That's right. Together. In the virtualization, Hu and Lu Meng overlapped together, and finally became Lu Meng's external representation. Han Feng didn't know what to say with his mouth trembling. Be with me. Lu Meng smiled and looked at Han Feng lovingly. Facing Lu Ming, Han Feng didn't react and just stood there blankly. I'll marry you. You marry me. Seeing Han Feng didn't react, Lu Ming smiled and continued. No. Impossible. I can't marry you. Han Feng's expression gradually became firm while he was talking in his sleep. Found it. Found it. Finally found it. I finally found the murderer who killed Wei Yun. I finally found it. This was the first thought that came to Han Feng's mind after he recovered his consciousness. Do you really want to kill me? At this moment, sensing what Han Feng was thinking, Lu Ming stepped forward and asked, Is it because of Lin Lan? He. Without waiting for Han Feng to speak, Lu Ming continued, then, let her disappear forever. Just like Wei Yun. While understating it, Lu Ming had the intention to kill. The next moment, Lu Ming's expression became strange. It's you? Then, Lu Ming looked at Han Feng with a hateful face and roared. It was the mind control tower. It was the mind control tower that blocked the mental attack for Lin Lan. It didn't let Lin Lan turn against us. Looking at Lu Ming, Han Feng smiled, a heartfelt smile. Swoosh. Take a step. Han Feng instantly activates his super speed ability, quickly approaching Lu Ming. On the way, Han Feng reaches out and pulls out the mad knife from behind, ready to chop it down. Do you really want to kill me? Looking at Han Feng approaching quickly, Lu Ming asked again. I won't be fooled again. At this moment, Han Feng's eyes are as clear as water. His tone is neither arrogant nor impatient, like normal communication, but also like talking to himself. Shua. The mad knife, tearing the air in front of Lu Ming. With a whistle, pressing down vigorously. Hee. Lu Ming didn't even look at the mad knife that was about to fall in front of him, but just smiled and stared into Han Feng's eyes. Buzz. The mad knife chopped down along the trajectory, facing Lu Ming's face. But the sharp blade of the mad knife was held back by an invisible force when it was 1 centimeter away from touching Lu Ming. It could not move forward any further. Seeing this, Han Feng expected this scene. With a displeased face, Han Feng suddenly raised his mouth frivolously, drew out the mad knife, and chopped it from a different angle. Shua. Buzz. The second attack was again blocked by Lu Ming. So far, Lu Ming has never moved, just standing in place, letting Han Feng chop. Shua. Shua. Seamlessly connected, Han Feng drew out the mad knife for the second time, and chopped it from a different angle. Buzz. It's no fun to fight. I'll show you something fun. After perfectly defending the third knife, Lu Ming turned his face slightly and looked at the second base. When Han Feng looked in that direction, his eyes suddenly flickered. Outside the base, there were zombies everywhere. So many, all over the mountains. So many that they were incalculable. Marry me, and we will live in peace. Otherwise, you will all die. At this moment, Lu Ming whispered softly. Hee, you are dreaming. Turning around, Han Feng drew out the crazy knife again. He slashed the fourth attack with great force again. At the same time, Han Feng also urgently contacted Luna and said, Luna, everyone be on alert. Unlimited gold coins can summon soldiers. Everyone go into battle. Fire! Bang! 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 Boom! 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 With the sound of the guns being fired, 8 Apocalypse tanks were the first to spit out huge flames. 16 heavy shells, with sharp whistles, pierced in all directions. In the dark night, 8 beautiful fireworks bloomed. Countless zombies turned into a shower of blood. No! In the moment of high heat, the blood evaporated into steam and was blown away by the shock wave. I said there was no movement for so long. It turns out, I wanted to hold it in. Looking at the endless zombies in the mountains under his feet, Han Feng regained his composure and even teased. I'm curious. Why do you want to marry me? Han Feng asked after moving away from the so-called safe distance. I don't know. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming started with this sentence. During the time I was with you, I found that I fell in love with you. When? Anyway, the war is imminent. So it doesn't matter if I say a few words. On the day you were with Wei Yun, I felt something was taken away. You are mine. And only mine. Like Han Feng. Lu Ming was calm at this time. No wonder, out of so many pearls, you chose the one in Wei Yun's hand. Suddenly, the past came to mind. And Han Feng recalled the day when Hu insisted on the black pearl in Wei Yun's hand. So I killed her. Through Lin Lan's hand. As soon as Han Feng started to speak, Lu Meng interrupted him and took Plek over. Oh. With a soft voice. 2 lines of tears fell. Even though Han Feng was crying, his expression was still cold. Then you deserve to die. After muttering again, Han Feng had no other thoughts and swung his knife again. Marry me! Or die! I choose to die. In midair, Han Feng muttered. Schwa! Buzz! This is your choice. After blocking the 5th attack, Lu Meng's face changed drastically. He stretched out his hand and slapped Han Feng's chest directly. Bang! A violent muffled sound exploded in front of Han Feng. In just a moment, Han Feng was like a human cannonball, flying backwards. Buzz! While flying backwards in the air, Han Feng swallowed half a mouthful of blood. Then he activated his telekinesis immediately to support his flying body. Chapter 496, Endless. Puff. Landing on the ground, Han Feng spat out the blood that he could not suppress. Marry me, or die! Hee. Slightly opening his bloody mouth, Han Feng chuckled. Blood rage, it's your turn. Buzz. After speaking calmly, Han Feng's body exploded. This explosion was greater than any previous blood rage. Swish. Covered in blood, Han Feng quietly took out 5 quick recovery potions from his jacket pocket. They were connected in a row and instantly stabbed into his body. Hee, ha ha. Seeing Han Feng ready to fight, Lu Meng suddenly laughed. Laugh. After that, Han Feng dropped the empty syringe and rushed towards Lu Meng again with a mad knife. The strong wind passed by Han Feng's side. The hem of his clothes swung violently with the wave flow, exploding with crisp and powerful sounds. Ah! Suddenly jumping up, Han Feng roared in midair, and then used both arms to slash a knife. Schwa! As the mad knife fell at the speed of light, Han Feng roared again, telekinesis. Break. Since you use telekinesis to protect your body, then I will use telekinesis to break your barrier. Squeak. She. In front of Lu Meng, in the invisible air, there was a sound similar to grinding teeth. It sounded annoying and heart-wrenching. Bang. Hula. The next moment, the mad knife took advantage of the situation and rushed in. Easily split the weak telekinetic barrier. The trend did not slow down, and the sharp blade quickly approached Lu Meng's face. At this moment, Lu Meng did not seem to expect Han Feng to use this method to break his barrier, and his expression seemed a little unprepared. Ding! No way. Standing in place, Lu Meng gently raised his palm and supported the sharp blade of the mad knife with one hand. After a crisp sound, a strong wind was coming, blowing the ends of Lu Meng's hair. Lu Meng did not even blink. Hee, you are too naive. Hu bang! Grabbing the broad blade of the mad knife, Lu Meng swung it with one hand and threw Han Feng far away. Holding the mad knife, Han Feng still had a cold expression in the air. This result was expected. Hu, using telekinesis to take it. Han Feng stood still again. Frowning, Han Feng looked at Lu Meng without saying a word. Han Feng knew very well that he could not beat Lu Meng. Absolutely not. Absolutely. Bang bang bang. Bang. 5 minutes have passed, and the Apocalypse tank burst into a second artillery attack. That's it? You can't even beat me with this body? Lu Meng covered his mouth and chuckled, and continued, change the way to play? Do you want to play? After talking to himself, Lu Meng's body shook and turned into the appearance of Hu. Looking at the once familiar Hu, Han Feng's eyes moved slightly and swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Come! Swoosh! After speaking, Hu swung his legs and swayed in front of Han Feng. Oh no! Bang! Han Feng subconsciously said to himself. And just as he came out, he saw the soul of Hu Tingshu kicking sideways. In a panic, Han Feng raised the mad knife to block the kick. As a loud explosion sounded in front of him, Han Feng spurted blood and flew backwards again. This time, Han Feng felt like he was bearing the full-speed impact of a plane. He couldn't figure out how Hu's small body could have such great energy. Bang! A few tenths of a second later, Han Feng's back hit a tree. The tree broke in the middle, and Han Feng also stopped. Cough cough. Holding the mad knife, Han Feng coughed a few times and coughed out the blood in his throat. Marry me. Or die. looking at Han Feng not far away. Who walked over? He said word by word. This battle is really fucked up. After hearing this, Han Feng leaned against the tree, took out a cigarette, looked up at the moonlight, and said to himself, I can't believe it, it's you. In his clear eyes, Han Feng seemed to see his own ending, death. It seems that you have made up your mind. With a playful voice, Hu continued, I forgot you haven't seen the mother's body yet. Tear. After saying the above sentence, Hu's body shape suddenly changed. There is a trend of getting bigger and bigger. After more than 10 seconds, a huge monster suddenly appeared. Twisted, huge body. The face of an elder like a dead vine and a broken tree. All this is exactly the same as what Lu Rui said. Looking at the mother body less than 10 meters in front of him, Han Feng had a faint smile on his face. He knew that this was the final form of the fox. No matter what, he could not defeat it. Han Feng accepted his fate. Who? Bang! At this moment, a section of vine willow was pulled out from the mother body and suddenly lashed towards Han Feng. The vine as thick as an arm was covered with dents and countless thorns. Looking at the vine willow getting closer and closer, Han Feng did not dodge, because all this was meaningless. But in his mind, he was still smiling bitterly. Smiling bitterly that he really could not complete the last hidden task of the system. Kill the mother? Haha, spare me, how is it possible, time machine? Haha, no hope. Seeing the cane getting closer and closer, Han Feng slowly smoked a cigarette, waiting for the final death. You are right. I will die here. But I didn't expect it to be so soon. Thinking of Lu Rui, Han Feng was saying his last words. Huh? When the cane was a few centimeters in front of Han Feng, it stopped forcibly, feeling the strong wind on the pavement. Han Feng resisted, not wanting to blink, but found that he couldn't do it. Even if you die, you won't marry me? Moving away the cane, Han Feng saw Lu Meng's pure cheek. You killed Wei Yun. I love you. You killed Wei Yun. I just want to be with you. You killed Wei Yun. Can you not talk about her? Listening to Han Feng's repeated words, Lu Meng got a little angry. You destroyed the world. Is that a reason? Hearing the new explanation, Lu Meng asked back. So many families were destroyed. How can you be free of responsibility? What does it have to do with me? Unexpectedly, Lu Meng's reaction was so great. When they used me as an experiment. Why didn't you come to save me? Why didn't you come to save me when I was being ravaged by them? Now, the whole world is suffering the consequences it deserves. But you say it's my fault? 3 consecutive sentences. Every word is precious. Innocent people have no choice, but you do. Why? Looking at the rage in Lu Meng's eyes, Han Feng paused to continue his words. I can tell you that as long as I die, all the zombies in the world will die instantly. I am their king and their mastermind. Every one of them is under my control. As if showing off, Lu Meng stroked the ends of her hair and looked at Han Feng. Shua. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Han Feng secretly mobilized all his strength and swung his full-strength knife at Lu Meng. Swish. Finally, the sound of the knife entering the flesh was heard. Thanks to the sharpness of the mad knife, the blade easily cut through everything it touched. The next moment, a very fine bloodline appeared on Lu Meng's chest. Bang. Dong. Split into 2. Lu Meng fell to the ground without saying a word. Thank you for telling me. Killing you will be fine. Han Feng looked at the broken body on the ground with a crimson mouth and said with madness in his eyes, Do you really want me to die? Suddenly, another female voice sounded in another place. Hearing the voice that was so familiar that it couldn't be more familiar, Han Feng's hair stood on end. Want to kill me? Then I'll kill you every day. How about that? The playful voice sounded again, and Lu Meng walked out of the dark woods again. Looking at the identical Lu Meng, Han Feng looked down at the corpse at his feet in horror. You can't kill all of me. As he spoke, countless Lu Mengs walked out from all directions. A glance showed that there were more than 100. Luna! Instantly, Han Feng shouted in his mind. Report to Captain Han. According to the system radar display, all Lu Mengs are living organisms. Feeling Han Feng's emotions, Luna answered truthfully. Ha ha. Clang. Looking up to the sky and laughing, Han Feng let go of the mad knife in his hand and let it fall freely to the ground. What are you laughing at? After saying that, countless Lu Meng disappeared and returned to their original bodies. I laugh at my incompetence. Lowering his head again, Han Feng shed helpless tears. This hatred cannot be avenged. Who could understand the hatred, the regret, and the helplessness? You hate? What about me? No one can understand my hatred. Walking in front of Han Feng, Lu Ming reached out and gently wiped away Han Feng's tears, and continued, I like you. It's true. But everything is gone. Looking at Lu Ming, Han Feng murmured, my patience is limited. I'll ask you one last time. Answer me when you've made up your mind. Marry. No. Looking away, Han Feng announced the answer he had repeated for a long time before Lu Ming finished speaking. After speaking, Han Feng saw that there was still a cigarette between his fingers that had not been burned out. So he picked it up and put it to his mouth. After getting the answer, Lu Ming pursed her lips and took a few steps back. Da-da-da. Boom. Da-da. Under the extremely silent mountaintop, there was the sound of noisy firing. Bang. 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 Another 5 minutes later, the Apocalypse tank launched the third attack. At this time, outside the second base, the first batch of zombies had arrived. All Red Alert soldiers, fight bravely, no matter the cost, no matter what. In addition, sentry guns and machine gun bunkers were also forcibly built, standing in various war zones. Under the reflection of the searchlight of the second base, the battlefield was charred. It was the effect of burning the incendiary bottles, and the air was filled with a spreading smell of blood and gunpowder. Every breath was disgusting. Fortunately, the Red Alert soldiers in battle were different from ordinary people. Otherwise, just this sure a hell-like scene would scare many soldiers silly. This battle seems to represent the ultimate battle between humans and zombies. Every soldier and every zombie fought with full concentration. Chapter 497, Destruction. Tanya, Natasha, including Wei Peng and Lu Zhi, all rushed to the front line of the battlefield. And Lin Lan, because of her pregnancy, was forced to join the post-war. Dozens of medical staff and Red Alert soldiers guarded her to ensure that she would not be harmed. I am willing to do anything for you. Why can't I make you change your mind? On the top of the mountain, Lu Ming clenched his fists and said words that were almost farewell. You have killed the person who caused you pain. You use killing to fill the resentment in your heart. Isn't that enough? Leaning against the tree, Han Feng felt a sharp pain in his chest. Han Feng continued, resisting the discomfort of his body. The guilty have received the due judgment. But the rest are innocent people. You have no right to decide their life or death. And neither do I. I don't care. This world needs to be buried with me. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes and took a step forward. He stretched out his right fist and gently pressed it against Han Feng's heart, preparing for the final blow. Hee. Obsession is a disaster. Obsession is a disaster. Obsession? Why? Why can they destroy my life at will? Lu Ming stared and leaned forward again. His face was almost touching Han Feng's face. With a roaring voice, Lu Ming shouted, Don't persuade me to be kind if you don't know the suffering of others. You are not worthy. Not worthy. Bang. After saying that, Lu Ming thrust out with his right fist instantly. Rip. Wow. Lu Ming's right fist pierced through Han Feng's chest and thrust out from behind. The blood dripped down his small fist and dripped onto the ground. I gave you a chance, but you gave up on your own. Lu Ming whispered softly in Han Feng's ear as he lay dying. Then, your chance, will you cherish it? With blood flowing out of his mouth, Han Feng supported his body and looked into Lu Ming's eyes and said, Chance? When did God give me a chance? After saying that, Lu Ming frowned deeply and said with a ferocious face, Do you know how cold that basement is? Do you know how outrageous those people's behavior is? Do you know what it feels like to be in a dark laboratory? Do you know how tormenting it is to pray for someone to save you every day? You don't know. You don't know. I know. Han Feng whispered with a long stream of blood in his mouth. I know. I know. I know how sad you are. Hee. Hypocrisy. Lu Ming continued with frivolous words. As long as you change your mind now, I can save you. Is it funny? Your life depends on my thoughts. You can't save me, but I can easily change the life and death of anyone. If there is a chance to do all this again, are you willing? Raising his head with difficulty, Han Feng murmured weakly. At this time, the quick recovery injection in Han Feng's body is about to wear off. The alarms in his mind are also ringing one after another. If he doesn't receive treatment, Han Feng will not live for more than 10 minutes. Start over? Ha ha. Are you kidding? Why should I start over? I'm the king. The king of this world. Why should I start over again? I can take you away. Take you away from that place. Never go back. Holding his breath, Han Feng stood up hard regardless of the arm stuck in his chest. Seeing Han Feng like this, Lu Ming was scared and took a small step back. You said you were willing to do anything for me. Now I'm going back to rescue you. Are you willing to go with me? Looking at Lu Ming's evasive eyes, Han Feng continued, leave that dark underground. Leave that dark place. Go to see the sun. Go to see the beauty of the world. You said that you prayed to your hero to save you. I will save you. Are you willing to go with me? Looking at Han Feng's eyes, Lu Ming knew that he was not lying. This is your chance. Your only chance. After saying this, Han Feng could no longer hold his breath, slowly kneeled on the ground. Holding the ground, Han Feng looked at Lu Ming's shoes, and he had no strength to lift his head. Will you really save me? Hearing Lu Ming's question, Han Feng saw Lu Ming squatting down slowly. As long as you forgive this world. At this moment, Han Feng's body would become weaker with every word he said. His arms, which were originally strong, were shaking constantly at this moment, and they might collapse at any time. I can't go back. As she spoke, Lu Ming shed tears. She also wanted to live a normal life? But how could she stop the spread of the GS virus? I can. As soon as he said this, Han Feng's mind was full of time machines. As long as the time machine is built, all these tragedies can be avoided. Those innocent people who died can stand up again. Those broken families can also return to happiness. As long as the time machine is built. What should I do? At this moment, Lu Ming's tone softened, and the atmosphere took a sharp turn for the worse. As long as you die, I can go back to the past. Pull you out of the darkness. Han Feng didn't have time to explain, because according to Luna's report, he would lose consciousness in 2 minutes, and die completely in 4 minutes. Okay. What Han Feng didn't expect was, Lu Ming didn't refute him. Aren't you afraid that I will lie to you? Han Feng asked, lowering his head. I believe you. After that, Lu Ming slowly stood up. I will give you everything I have. Promise me. Kill for me again. After that, Lu Ming transformed into the final form. Thousands of vines flew in an instant. The next second, they all wrapped Han Feng into a cocoon. However, this time it was not an attack, but a sacrifice. Countless vines, surging with power, constantly transmitted to Han Feng. Han Feng, who was hung in the air, did not feel any pain at all, but only felt a burst of coolness all over his body. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. These 3 words echoed in the fluorescent cocoon. Sometimes it was Huhu's voice. Sometimes it was Lu Ming's voice. I don't know how long it took. Han Feng, who was lying on the ground, fluttered his eyelashes a few times. A mumbling sounded, and then Han Feng opened his eyes. Looking at the foggy sky, Han Feng's absent-minded eyes seemed to recall something. Huhu! The next moment, Han Feng exclaimed and jumped up from the cold ground. Looking privately, Han Feng wanted to find Huhu's figure in the morning mist, but he only saw the doll stained with mud at his feet. Huhu! Looking at the exquisite doll, Han Feng's eyes gradually moistened. With a cry of Huhu, tears could no longer be concealed and slowly flowed down. Huhu, at the last moment, he still chose to believe in himself. Bending over to pick up the doll on the ground, Han Feng gently patted it, trying to clean the mud on it. Don't worry, all this will never happen again. Looking at the doll in his hand, Han Feng seemed to be talking to Huhu. Luna, can the time machine be built? On the mountaintop filled with morning mist, Han Feng suddenly roared. Report to Captain Han. The time machine can be built. Luna responded to Han Feng instantly, and her words were full of grief and anger. As soon as Luna finished speaking, the cold and familiar voice of the system began to announce. Congratulations to Team Han for completing the hidden mission of the Time Machine 6. When the commander completes the following tasks, you can build the ultimate building, the Time Machine. Task 1. Upgrade all main buildings to the maximum level. Completed. Task 2. Build your own power and become a perfect leader. Task target. Shelter at least 10,000 survivors. Completed. Task 3. Find out the cause of the GS virus and seal or destroy the main laboratory. Completed. Mission 4. Find the hidden mother body. Completed. Mission 5. Upgrade all the main buildings of the second base to full star status. Completed. Mission 6. Kill the mother body. Completed. Congratulations to the commander for completing all the hidden tasks of the ultimate building. The time machine. Starting immediately. The commander has the right to build the time machine. Luna. Build the time machine. Holding the doll. Han Feng stood on the top of the mountain and gave the order. Report to Captain Han. Building the ultimate building. The time machine. Requires 15 million gold coins. Please confirm the construction. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng's heart skipped a beat, because he knew that he didn't have that many gold coins. But Han Feng still turned his attention to the system to see how much he still needed. In the gold coin column of the system, Han Feng saw that he had more than 18 million gold coins. Report to Captain Han. You killed the mother body last night, and the system rewards you with 10 million gold coins. Build. Confirm. After hearing this, Han Feng knew that this was the last gift that Fox gave him. Okay. Captain Han. Please select a site for the ultimate building. The time machine construction site. Note, the ultimate building. The time machine construction site. Construction length. Must not be less than 50 meters. Construction width. Not less than 30 meters. Building height. Not less than 16 meters. Is there an open space next to the hospital that meets the construction requirements? Hearing the construction instructions, Han Feng asked. Report to Captain Han. There is. Good. 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 Build. 3 good ones in a row. Han Feng finally got what he wanted. Report to Captain Han. The ultimate building time machine. Construction time, 0 hours. As soon as the previous sentence was finished, Luna continued the next second. Report to Captain Han. The ultimate building time machine has been built. Swoosh. Huh? After hearing this, Han Feng flashed and disappeared from the spot in an instant, rushed down the hillside and headed straight for the second base. On the way to the base, Han Feng noticed the zombie corpses all over the mountains. Most of them had no signs of injury on their bodies, and fell to the ground as if they had sudden death. I can tell you that as long as I die, all the zombies in the world will die instantly. I am their king and their mastermind. Each of them is under my control. Pursing his lips, Han Feng remembered what Lu Ming said to him last night. However, Han Feng was just thinking about it, and his steps did not slow down at all. Still rushing towards the second base. Chapter 498, Time Machine. Swish. A dozen seconds later, accompanied by a sudden brake sound, Han Feng returned. Luna, report the casualties. Along the way, Han Feng only saw the endless corpses of zombies all over the field, but no red alert soldiers in military uniforms. I couldn't help but feel curious. Report to Captain Han. Our personnel losses are 0 killed, 0 injured. After hearing this, Han Feng felt a little incredible. How could there be no casualties with so many zombies surrounding us? But thinking of this, Han Feng choked up. Everything is self-explanatory. Alas, with a soft sigh, Han Feng walked towards the time machine next to the hospital. Now, the most urgent thing is to go back to the past. 1 minute. 1 second. Han Feng doesn't want to waste. Luna, introduce the time machine. Looking at the time machine not far away, Han Feng decided to learn more about the details of this ultimate building first, lest violate any taboos at that time. Okay, Captain Han, let me introduce you to the ultimate building. The time machine. Time machine, invented by Dr. Einstein. Einstein used and improved the time machine many times, providing the necessary conditions for turning defeat into victory in the war. And eventually Einstein died because of this machine. Time machine, there are 3 generations. And what you see is the latest product of the 3rd generation. Take the time machine back to the past, and it can transport 3 people at a time. Note, every time the time machine is turned on, there will be a 1-month stagnation period. During the stagnation period, the time machine cannot be used. The number of times you come back from the past is not counted. If you successfully go back to the past with the time machine, you can cancel the return program by yourself. That is, you can stay in the past forever. In the past, please do not act arbitrarily, so as not to change the existing historical development and cause a time paradox. Special note, when taking the time machine back to the past, it is forbidden to carry vehicles. That is, it can only carry humans, and cannot carry any vehicles. tanks, fighter planes, etc. What about weapons? Hearing this, Han Feng couldn't help but ask. Report to Captain Han. A small amount of metal objects can be carried through time and space. That's good. Han Feng breathed a sigh of relief after getting Luna's permission. Captain Han, please remember one thing. At this moment, Luna suddenly changed her tone. More like a caring tone. Everything you did in the past will change the existing historical trajectory. If you successfully prevent the outbreak of the zombie virus, it is very likely that you will not meet Lin Lan and others. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng suddenly stopped. That is to say, all this will change. Right. Glancing around, Han Feng asked. Not necessarily, but very likely. Luna did not directly answer Han Feng's question, but changed the subject and gave an ambiguous answer. She can be resurrected, and millions of people can be reunited and happy. Isn't this exactly what I want? Han Feng lowered his head and responded, more like talking to himself. Captain Han, for those who achieve great things, how can there be perfection? Don't they all have to make sacrifices? Stopping Luna's subsequent concern, Han Feng raised his eyebrows and smiled. By the way, Luna, if I succeed, will you still be there? At this time, Han Feng suddenly remembered a question, that is, his red alert system was only deployed after the zombie outbreak. When the zombies do not break out, whether the red alert system is still in his mind. Han Feng is really unsure about this question. Report to Captain Han. It won't. The red alert system has been bound to your soul consciousness, and will not disappear due to time travel. Haha, then I'm not worried about anything. Laughing loudly, Han Feng seemed to be bringing up courage for himself. After laughing, Han Feng raised his legs again, and walked towards the time machine not far away. Han Feng. Suddenly, a female voice sounded in front of the base gate. Looking sideways, it was Lin Lan who was pregnant. Where have you been? Didn't you promise me that you would come back soon? Lin Lan may have felt something, and asked Han Feng with red eyes. Have you found Hu? Before Han Feng responded, Lin Lan asked again. Looking at Lin Lan, Han Feng's eyes twitched slightly. When he thought of Hu, Han Feng's heart was instantly broken. I'll go find her. She'll be fine. After thinking for a few seconds, Han Feng said, You haven't eaten yet. How about eat a bite first? Looking at Han Feng, who was so close, Lin Lan was actually somewhat tentative. Okay. After hearing this, Han Feng turned around and walked straight to the base next to him. Notify everyone to gather in the restaurant. Let's eat. As he spoke, Han Feng strode towards the restaurant. Following behind Han Feng, Lin Lan looked at his back, and for a moment, for some reason, she felt a little helpless. It was obviously a breakfast that couldn't be more ordinary, but it had a sense of farewell, and it was getting stronger and stronger. Wei Peng has gone to rest. Wake him up. No one can be late for breakfast today. In front, knowing that Wei Peng was still resting, Han Feng spoke directly, leaving no room for bargaining. By the way, I'll go change my clothes first, so I'll trouble you to go and inform them. Pausing, Han Feng noticed that his clothes had some holes in them during the battle last night. Okay. With a light nod, Lin Lan watched Han Feng walk to the side. Swish, swish, swish. Standing in the bathroom in the bedroom, Han Feng was showered with warm water, letting the water flow down his body. Silently, he put on his clothes after a few minutes and walked out of the bedroom. Arriving at the base restaurant, Han Feng saw that everyone had marks on their bodies after the war. Where's Hu? Where did this little guy go? Seeing Han Feng coming over spotlessly, Lu Rui asked in confusion. Hu went out to play. I'll go find her later. With a smile on his face, Han Feng sat down immediately. 1,000-mile embankment. Haha, Master Ji is worthy of being a master. After sitting down, Han Feng looked at Master Ji and said an opening remark. It's not too late. The four looked at each other, and Master Ji said 4 more words. Haha. Right. 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 It's not too late. What are you two talking about? Listening to the zen-like conversation between the two, Lu Rui asked curiously. Nothing. Nothing, let's eat. Han Feng responded and took the lead in picking up his chopsticks. Half an hour later. This breakfast seemed to take a long time, but it was also so short. After breakfast, Han Feng took Lin Lan's hand and walked slowly outside. Is it dangerous? Lin Lan suddenly asked behind Han Feng, hinting, not dangerous. Hearing the meaning behind this question, Han Feng answered casually, when will you come back? Soon. Last time. You said the same thing? Pausing, Han Feng pursed his lips, not knowing how to answer. At this time, the morning mist was dispelled by the rising sun. Beams of sunlight penetrated the sky, shone on the earth, and also sprinkled on the two of them. Han Feng knew that this time he might be gone forever, as long as the outbreak of the GS virus is stopped. Lin Lan will not appear in the equipment warehouse of the police station. Similarly, as a soldier in the army, Lin Lan will never have any intersection with me again. Even if I insist on looking for her, she will not remember me, because this memory has not yet been formed. Turning around, looking at Lin Lan's clear, anxious eyes in front of him, Han Feng still lied, at the slowest. 1 month? Maybe faster, haha, by then. You will be 7 months pregnant. I will be able to see the baby soon. Her tone was filled with joy. But Han Feng was trying hard to hold back tears. Will it take so long? Hearing that it would take a month, Lin Lan pouted her lips, and said in a slightly coquettish way, for everyone I have to go there myself. Her playful response also concealed the second half of the sentence. For the world. Then you should pay more attention to safety. Holding Han Feng tightly with both hands, Lin Lan felt a mess in her heart. Wait for me. After saying these 2 words, Han Feng knew that he had to set off. If he didn't leave, he was afraid that he would miss everything here. Wait for you. Behind him, Lin Lan's clear voice carried a hint of determination. Han Feng didn't dare to look back, but nodded to himself. 2 minutes later, Han Feng boarded the shuttle platform of the time machine alone. Luna, let's start. Having said this softly, Han Feng slowly closed his eyes. Report to Captain Han. Each transmission can carry 3 people at the same time. Are you sure you want to act alone? Yes. Han Feng paused as soon as the word yes came out of his mouth. Yes. The time machine can carry 3 people each time. So there is no need for me to act alone. Luna, call Tanya and Natasha over. After thinking it through, Han Feng decided to bring 2 powerful helpers. Now, the zombies have all been exterminated, and no enemy can invade the impregnable second base. Han Feng was very relieved about this. Okay, Captain Han. Tanya and Natasha are on their way. Please wait. After Luna finished speaking, Han Feng slapped his forehead with his right hand. He forgot one thing. That is, who will take charge of the second base after the 3 of them leave. While waiting for Tanya and the others, Han Feng thought about it and finally said to Luna, Luna, during my absence, the base summoning power and military power will be handed over to Lin Lan. Simon, as her partner. Okay, Captain Han. Hi, Captain Han. After Luna finished speaking, Tanya and the others arrived. Are you going to ride the time machine again? Haha, I like this dizzy feeling the most. Do you know? Captain Han, put away your guns and take them back. I'm afraid of causing unnecessary trouble. While Tanya was talking, Han Feng noticed the guns on their waists and backs. After a little thought, Han Feng decided to let them hand in their weapons. After all, they would soon be in the world before the end of the world, where law and order were sound. Chapter 499, Dawn and Darkness, End. Oh, okay. Natasha glanced at the sniper rifle behind her, hesitated, unhooked it, and threw it away. Tanya's reaction was quite casual. Anyway, compared with Natasha, Tanya's close combat ability was better. When the 2 of them unarmed, Han Feng also reached out and took off the mad knife behind him and threw it outside the teleportation platform. Luna, it's okay. After a few seconds, the 3 of them were ready, and Han Feng silently said in his mind, Okay, Captain Han, please confirm the shuttle coordinate mark. Luna asked before the time machine started. It will be on the day Lu Meng was kidnapped in the laboratory. After thinking it over, Han Feng knew that he couldn't really land in a foreign country. So, he could only save Lu Meng first, stop the leakage of the GS virus, and then think about the subsequent blocking plan. Okay, Captain Han. The time machine is charging. The time shuttle countdown is expected to start in 5 seconds. Please make preparations before the shuttle. 5, 4. After saying the above sentence, Luna began to count down. 2, 1. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The countdown ended, and the huge shuttle platform of the time machine suddenly burst into a crystal blue electric current. From the outside, Han Feng and the other two were wrapped in a blue electric ball. Goodbye. Goodbye. As the surroundings gradually became empty, Han Feng squinted his eyes and kept muttering these words. Swoosh. With a flash of lightning, Han Feng instantly felt a helpless sense of weightlessness. Bang! The next moment, Han Feng fell from midair for no reason and fell to the ground, making a muffled sound. Ugh! Hurriedly standing up, before he could take a step, Han Feng knelt on the ground again and vomited. Haha, Captain Han. Seeing Han Feng vomiting beside him, Tanya laughed mercilessly. You? Ugh! Just as he was about to speak, Han Feng lowered his head again. If you had told me earlier, I would definitely not ask you to have breakfast. Half a minute later, Han Feng recovered a little and looked up. It's dark. Looking at the sky covered by the night, Han Feng said in surprise. Report to Captain Han. The time machine can only roughly return to the day, not accurate to the minute and second. Oh, so that's it. Hearing Luna's explanation, Han Feng was no longer surprised. After resting for a few more minutes, Han Feng supported himself with his arms and slowly stood up. Looking back at the pale Natasha, Han Feng knew she was also a little bit overwhelmed, but much better than himself. Luna, where is this? Where is the laboratory? Looking around again, Han Feng found himself in the woods, and even somewhat familiar. In order to confirm the location, Han Feng had to ask Luna. Report to the Han team. We are now at the original site of the second base. The main laboratory is 672 kilometers away from you. To your northeast. Nima. After hearing this, Han Feng was dumbfounded. Nearly 700 kilometers. It is definitely impossible to get through in a short time. Han Feng lowered his head and pondered for a few seconds, then looked in the direction of East City. Tanya, go get a car. 2 seconds later, Han Feng ordered. Okay. Swoosh. After Tanya finished speaking, she disappeared into the woods. Walk slowly. Raising his legs, Han Feng walked in the direction where Tanya disappeared. On the way, he thought about the next plan. 12 hours later, Han Feng drove the stolen vehicle and successfully advanced to the mountainous area near the main laboratory. When there was no way to go in the mountains, the three got off the car. As soon as he got off the car, Han Feng contacted Luna in his mind and said, Luna, scan the surroundings? And by the way, 3D modeling. Confirmed. Okay. Captain Han. The system radar is scanning. Please wait. 2 seconds later. Report to Captain Han. The system radar scan is complete. And the 3D sand table modeling is also ready. Please move to the system to watch. Yes. After responding with one word, Han Feng shifted his attention to the system. In the huge mountain sand table, Han Feng accurately found the location of the main laboratory. Hee, wait for death. Hey! What are you doing? In his mind, Han Feng was talking to himself when suddenly a discordant voice came into his ears. Han Feng opened his eyes and looked in the direction of the voice. It was a man holding a whip and looking like a shepherd. Report to Captain Han. This man is carrying a hot weapon. When Han Feng looked at the villager more than 10 meters away, Luna in his mind gave a timely alarm. Tanya. Without any extra nonsense, Han Feng said lightly. Swoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, he moved. Tanya disappeared in an instant. The next moment, Tanya's figure flashed behind him. Then, the shepherd slowly fell to the ground. We may have been discovered, and we must make a quick decision. Noticing the death of the other party, Han Feng realized that he might be exposed. Okay. The two of them understood and took a step forward in an instant, heading straight for the main laboratory. As the three approached at full speed, they stood at the entrance of the main laboratory after a few breaths. Bang! As soon as the three of them stood still, a crisp and deep gunshot came. It was a sniper rifle. Buzz! Almost instantly, Han Feng opened a telekinetic barrier around his body, perfectly protecting the people around him. Telekinesis. Start. Howl. Just because the Mad Blade was not brought here does not mean that the Silver Shuttle and Silver Wing were not brought here. As Han Feng finished speaking, a small silver wing appeared from his waist and flew towards the sniper in the distance. Just kidding. under the radar scan. No matter how awesome your disguise is, you can't escape the radar's eyes. A few seconds later, all the secret guards around the main laboratory were killed by this silver wing. The good show begins. Turning his eyes, Han Feng looked at the perfect and flawless ground on the ground. And his telekinesis started again. Bang! Suddenly, like a cork of red wine bursting out, a heavy steel secret door suddenly pulled out from the ground. Oh my god! Looking at the heavy door flying out of a height of more than 10 meters, Han Feng was shocked by his own ability. Others don't know, but he knows. He only used a small part of his telekinesis. How could it be so powerful? In the chaos, Han Feng didn't even think about when Lu Ming sacrificed himself. He transferred 80% of his power to Han Feng. Boom! A few seconds later, the secret door fell from the sky and hit the ground, making a loud muffled sound. Even the soles of his feet felt a violent shock. Hee. Let's get started. Moving his eyes back, Han Feng looked at the well-like passage and continued to mutter softly, telekinesis. Start. Zheng. Xiao. Swoosh. In an instant, many telekinesis weapons suddenly flew out from his waist and flew down towards the dark cave. Let's go! With the advanced army of telekinetic weapons, Han Feng raised his leg and said, Yes, Captain Han. At this moment, Tanya and Natasha were all ready to go, and followed Han Feng to the main laboratory with excitement. Hello. The three of them landed in the air, and Han Feng looked at the terrified researchers around him and greeted them. Tap tap. Ignoring the people around him, Han Feng walked towards the passage where the experimental subjects were imprisoned with ease. Hey! Swoosh! At this time, a soldier wearing a foreign country's war uniform stepped forward and tried to stop Han Feng. But how could he be Han Feng's opponent? He didn't even bother to do it himself. And a small silver wing took care for Han Feng. Lu Ming. I'm here. I'm late. Through the window of the iron gate, Han Feng saw the ragged Lu Ming. At this moment, Han Feng regretted why he didn't come a day earlier. Messia, Japan, Goryeo. You three countries are finished, I said, holding the railing on the iron window with one hand. Han Feng continued to whisper, Tanya, Natasha, bang bang, dong, sh. Behind him, Tanya and Natasha turned into sure-ass in hell, killing people everywhere. In a moment, the entire laboratory turned into a bloody slaughterhouse. Bang! While the two were fighting, Han Feng destroyed the iron gate with telekinesis and walked in. Lu Ming, I'm here to save you. Come with me. Han Feng finished speaking, with a faint smile on his face, and extended his hand to Lu Ming. Luna, can you think of a way to erase Lu Ming's memory of this? Han Feng took up the unconscious Lu Ming, and for some reason, he suddenly asked Luna. Report to Captain Han. Yes, but please build a base first. Only the combat laboratory can erase specific human memories. It's okay. After a few seconds of silence, Han Feng gave up this idea and smiled at Lu Ming intriguingly. Let's go. Close your eyes. Han Feng knew that there was blood all over the outside. In order to protect Lu Ming's fragile nerves, he kindly reminded her. A few minutes later, the three of them took Lu Ming out of the underground laboratory. As for the other experimental subjects in the basement, Han Feng was not in the mood to continue rescuing them, so he let them go out by themselves. Anyway, the locked door was opened. This should be over. Standing in front of Lu Ming, Han Feng slowly raised his head, looked at the sunny wilderness, and murmured. At this time, the Matrix Lu Ming had been rescued by himself. Then the zombie virus will not break out. As long as the laboratories of the subsequent countries are solved, the zombie virus will be buried in the cradle forever. Hee. Thinking of this, Han Feng smiled happily, because all people don't have to suffer. But Han Feng forgot one thing. That is, in this world, suddenly, a body carrying the GS virus appeared. That is Han Feng, who had been injected with the energy potion made of maternal blood.